Ooh, what's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy. And this is the Book Club. That's right, this is a show where me and my co-host, the two of us, talk about the Stormlight Archive. We are covering Brandy, Sandy, and we're here. What's up, Clarus? Welcome to the show. Our guest for today, my wife. I was like, hey, can I start the 2-minute countdown? She's like, yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, and then I was like, I just have to pee really quick, and then I realized that I'm wearing a romper with buttons. So.
Yeah. Would you expect anything less from me?
No.
That's fair. Corey Lee, thank you for joining the Nerds Radiant. Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat. Let's go. Also, Cal, Adolin, and Shallan should just kiss already. I don't know about that.
No, I'd be into it.
I wouldn't. Kaladin has a long way to go before he's going to be comfortable kissing the light eyes. Let's just be real. And Kenny Telegy, thank you for being a member for 32 months.
That's a lot of many months.
I would like to ask permission to found the suborder of Shiny Heinies.
Like a Nerds Radiant order?
I don't get it. Is that a Stormlight Archive thing, or is it just a high...
I don't know what that high... I mean, I get that it's like but I don't understand the other...
Yeah, no, I get the like pun. I don't get how it connects to what we're doing in book club.
You know what? We just like butts.
We do like butts. That's true, honestly.
Snowwolf, thank you for subscribing over on Twitch.
Let's go. Hello. 8 months. 8 months. Welcome, everyone, to Words of Radiance Part 4, where we cover chapters 53 through 66. This is one of those few times where the interludes come in the middle. And boy, did they come in the middle.
And they'll come again, and that's fine.
There was some choking on cock. Kung Pao Sandwich, thank you for gifting 5 members.
Hell yeah, thank you.
We appreciate you.
So many new members of the Radiance, because we're gonna need a lot.
Yeah, well, we're gonna need them because we're about to be doing more audiobook reactions than I think y'all actually will want to watch.
I'd be interested to see, like, if there's any people that are like, I'll skip that reaction, but, like, are into the,
Yeah, no, they don't all have the same numbers, so clearly people are not watching them.
I guess that's fair. Judo, thank you for that super chat. It's quiz day, and these kids are killing me. I've been looking forward to book club all week.
Let's go.
I'm so sorry. All the power to you. You got this.
I've been looking forward to book club since yesterday, because I would like to keep reading.
Yeah.
Because I don't love the spot where we left off at.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense with, like, the breakdown, but,
100%.
like, I'm like, I need more.
Yeah, 100%. This was the first time where I was like, I would really actually like to continue reading because I'm not super happy with our characters right now.
Right, yeah.
I'm disappointed in Dalinar. I'm, really frustrated and up against the wall with Elhokar. I'm
Kaladin.
Worried about Kaladin.
Yeah.
The only person I'm kind of just like A-okay with right now is Shallan and Adolin.
Shallan's just doing her thing.
Yeah.
You know, she's being that, like, wife, spy, scribe, scholar life, you know? It's just great.
Shallan is the reminder that Beyonce and I have the same amount of hours in the day, but I am not Beyonce.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Linus, thank you for that super chat. Let's go. Though next week's Little Light on reactions are all awesome. That is A-okay with us. It'll be a full-time job, week 5.
Yeah.
I think, is that the week we have every single reaction, or is that the final week?
I thought week 6 was the day we had every reaction. The next week is week 5.
I can't count, so.
No. Next week is week 5.
Is it?
It's a little bit lighter, and then week 6 is, I think it's like 12 reactions. And it's every chapter.
All right, yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah, so I guess the lesson is complain about your tax bill, and you'll get to read more books.
Yeah, I love that for us.
Yeah.
We got hit with another one, because there was one for me, and Nerdy was like...
Oh, shit. What? I have to go do that. Yeah, I have to figure that out.
after book club today. Yeah. There was one for me and one for Nerdy, and he didn't get an email about it for some reason. I guess the CRA were like, surprise! So that was fun.
We only owe $25,000. It's fine.
Not today. We don't owe $25,000 today.
No, we don't. We owe
that
half
would
that
be insane.
on Friday.
That would actually be insane.
Why is our... Oh, I guess it's just the middle of the month is the 15th.
The 15th.
So they're just like, it's a Sunday. But how am I supposed to pay it on a Sunday? Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's fine. We are going to survive. Anyway...
Yeah, especially because we also decided to move.
I said last week we weren't going to talk about it on here anymore, and so we're just not. It's all good.
Love it.
James Ross says, did y'all not budget for taxes?
We budgeted
to pay taxes in April. And so when the government is like, actually, we need you to pay your taxes 8 months early, it's like, oh, thank you for the heads up. I wish I'd known that.
Yeah. A little bit of like a heads up of like, you're not going to pay this in April, you're going to pay it in September would have been nice, you know?
I'll help with a little behind the scenes, a little curtain pull on content creation. We make a lot more money in November, December than we do the rest of the year.
Because
Christmas and ad rates are higher and all of those things. If you like hear content creators talking about Vlogmas, it's because like the same number of views on a video is worth sometimes up to like 15 times more if it's in November, December, because the amount of money that companies are willing to spend on ads on YouTube goes up because people are spending money before Christmas.
Yeah.
And so the kind of the weird like financial dip that is September, October, leading into the hit that is November, December, is just a roller coaster that we didn't expect to have a giant tax bill in the middle of this year.
Yeah, it's just a surprise, but it's fine.
We're not like dying.
We'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So with that having been said, we're fine. It was just a shock. And like you say, like it's taxes we were gonna have to pay next year. The problem is when we got the first tax bill, they didn't explain that. We just thought that they suddenly wanted back taxes for previous years.
It was very confusing.
And so we actually had to call a lawyer to have them explain to us what this bill was.
Snowwolf gets it. So loop all videos during November, December.
Yeah, if you could.
If you were going to pick any time to loop videos, that would be the time.
Unless you have YouTube Premium, then it doesn't matter. We get the same amount year-round from you guys.
Yeah.
Because it's not about ad rates.
That's true. Premium is honestly better. If you have YouTube Premium, it's good for us.
Yeah. Blue says also January being the opposite because they don't care to push ads anymore. It's partially that they don't care to push ads anymore, but it's also the way that marketing is budgeted within corporations means that they don't have a like month by month budget. They typically do either quarter by quarter or yearly budgets. And so companies that do yearly budgets, their fiscal year actually ends in March. But they blow their like yearly budget in November, December. And then January, February, March, there isn't actually like money left for advertising outside of companies that have previously budgeted for NFL ads for the Super Bowl.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And March Madness ads. Like those are kind of typically the only things that do those kind of numbers in the early parts of the year. So it is what it is. But
yeah, love that for us. It's the business side of things that neither of us went to school for.
Talkamaro Thor asks a really interesting question here, which is, have you seen a notable uptick in Canadian views since the change in Canadian content regulations last year? No. Canada is our fourth largest country.
But we also don't make Canada-specific content.
No, we don't.
And that's that was part of the bill, is that it wasn't about Canadian creators, really. It was about Canadian-focused content.
Yeah.
So it didn't really do much. But Arzu, thank you for 10 gifted memberships.
Yeah, Arzu coming in.
To the text, man. Let's go.
Coming in mod and hard for us.
Thank you,
Arzu. Appreciate that.
There's going to be a lot of reactions for all y'all, so just buckle.
I don't think we're doing any for Edge Dancer, though, as far as I've heard.
None for Edge Dancer. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Amboss says, what's number 2 and number 3? It goes, US is number 1 with 30%. Number 2 is Britain with 8%. And then number 3 is Mexico or Brazil. And then 4 is Canada. And then 5 is Mexico or Brazil.
I thought it was India.
India is not... Well, actually, we could just look. I thought India hadn't been up there for a while.
I don't know. I only see that my analytics are the third... my top 3 cities... My top 3, cities, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, no, I'm way off. It's changed a lot.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fair.
Oh, it's probably because, you know what it is? We've been watching Jujutsu Kaisen, so now our views have changed. So right now it's United States.
United States.
At 40%, which is actually good for us. We might be able to get an ad deal again.
And then number 2 is India.
Number 2 is India. Number 3 is United Kingdom. Number 4 is Japan.
And 5
Canada's
is
5 with 3.7, and then Brazil.
Okay.
Where's Mexico?
Mexico's
dropped. Oh my God! All of our Mexican fans have fled.
Yeah.
Or we're getting more views. It's really complicated.
I weirdly get a lot of views from Tehran.
Yeah.
That is like one of my largest follower bases. I don't know.
And now you're on a list with the American government.
I don't know.
Anyway, we're here to talk about the Words of Radiance, but in order to do that, we got to bring up the fact that this podcast is brought to you by Misty Mountain Gaming.
MistyMountainGaming.com.
They have dice. 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 Use code nerdynightly15 for 15% off your order at mistymountaingaming.com. Thank you so much, mistymountaingaming.com.
Love that. That physically hurt me. Yeah. Get your shiny math rocks today.
Blue says, y'all have had me around for so long, you both are definitely on some U.S. government watch list. Blue, we're not allowed to talk about that in front of the Canadian.
Oopsie. It's fine. One day I'll probably also be American.
It is not this day. Clarus, we have crossed the midway point of this book.
Uh-huh.
How are you feeling about Words of Radiance?
It's pretty great.
It's a good book.
It's pretty great. This week was ended on a little bit of a downer.
Yes.
Not in like a bad way,
not really
but
ended. Was it had the hypest moment ever, and then was mostly a downer.
Yeah, I guess. I don't find like Shallan stuff really like a downer, except for like the flashbacks. And so there was like a good balance. I think I just was like, oh man, this hurts my soul.
The except for the flashbacks is doing so much work there though.
Yeah,
because you're like, I don't find the Shallan stuff that depressing, except for that scene where her dad had a guard go and murder the puppies.
Well,
like this is a section that had like a entire batch of puppies get murdered.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's not that depressing.
No, we got there. That was near the end of the reading, okay?
Also, she had to go to her stepmom and like bandage up her stepmom's broken arm. What do you mean it's not that depressing?
Near the end of the reading, okay, it got darker as we went on. All right, we're just gonna admit that.
Shallan's stuff is happier.
Her present day stuff is. Look, she's like finding love, and that's beautiful. All right. AMV fan, welcome back to the Nerds Radiant. Been in and out of the hospital all year. Nothing like Britain still sucks, and you guys have made it bearable. Well, thank you. That means a lot. I'm sorry that you're dealing with health stuff, because that is never fun, especially depending on the kind of healthcare that you have. But we're just happy to make people laugh.
UJQ says, I don't think y'all have alerts on. I am not sure what that means.
On here? I see them.
I see the video ones. There's no sound for them because it's a podcast. UJQ. If you're hoping for like a bring, there's no sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do love that you're like, it's not that depressing. She's just falling in love with a man who she almost watches get murdered. And then that man spends the next 2 weeks in prison.
But he
talking to her
doesn't get murdered
through priests. It's fine. Everything's really happy for Shallan right now.
He's not dead yet, so it's fine.
All right, chapter 53, Perfection. Adolin and Levitt are in the ring, and Adolin is being a little sassy bitch, dueling perfectly so that he can cause just enough damage to eventually have Levitt just seize up and not be able to move in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
And he's like, I gotta show that I have all the skills.
Yeah, I'm not just gonna beat my opponents. I am going to fucking send them crawling home with an army of people because they literally can't get themselves out of their own armor. They're so fucked up. Like
Levitt, in some ways, Adolin feels almost like D&D monk coded, where it's like precisions, stunning strikes. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Where it's the danger of training versus kind of the ego of the fighters.
Well, yeah, and it's more of like he treats it in a lot of ways as more of like an art form, right?
Yeah.
Like he's not just like I can fight and win. He goes, I can fight in any way that I want and win. You know, except obviously against like fucking Zeth, who just has magic powers. Like that's kind of something that he couldn't have prepared for. But he's not like, oh, I'm great with the sword. Like I'm good. I don't need to work on my skills. Like he has had such good teachers and such good work ethic that oh no, I'm it's not good enough just to be able to win. I need to win so handedly that people will say that I cheated.
Yeah.
Like that is impressive.
Yeah, it's so
he might be probably like the best like fighter I've read about in a series.
Really?
Yeah. He gets, you know, he even holds up for a few minutes in like a 4-on-1 battle, right?
I'm
like,
not gonna lie. I think that you are vastly underselling Lan Mandragoran.
Yeah, okay.
I think that Lan going up again. Wait, we can't. No, that's spoilers. Lan injured in his final duel is the greatest fight. Look, and I don't even love that book.
My argument is that
like fully, but like
my argument is Lan is much older. Like Adolin still has a decade of perfecting his craft.
But that is actually more impressive. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, you slow down. Lan never
when you
slowed
get to
down.
like 45.
Lan, I'm just gonna say this. Lan would have taken the 4 of them. Adolin needs help. Adolin needs help that we're gonna get into the help that he gets and how I wish that Brandon Sanderson had set it up differently. Because I actually found the chapter to be a little cheap. But we'll get into why in a second. Okay. Not in what happened, but in the way the information was conveyed. It was purely we'll get to when we get to the chapter because I have thought I just.
That's true. Lan also has a magical bond that makes him faster and stronger.
Yeah, and Adolin has shard plate. You can't be like one of them has a magical advantage. They both have magical advantages. And they're both fighting people who have equal advantage, right?
Yeah, maybe. Judah Canizarius, thank you for that super chat. Adolin does know how to handle a sword. Him and Cal are going to be really good friends.
Yeah. So he beats the shit out of Elit. It's pretty great. Elit is a little bitch. And honestly, it's shocking when he comes out to get his ass kicked again later. Adolin goes back to his little dressing room, and someone knocks on the door real fast. Adolin's like, that doesn't make sense. That's too fast for the person I want. And in comes his betrothed, who's like, I'm so horny right now. Like, I am wet.
Yeah.
My nipples are leaking milk. Adolin put a baby in me.
I think you gotta have the baby in you first before your nipples can leak.
Not technically, but
most of the time.
Yes, you are correct that most of the time that happens.
Yeah.
But hormones do their hormoning things.
Yeah, but I don't think that's because they're horny.
No. My safe hand is quivering. Shallan comes in. She's given all sorts of compliments. Navani makes an awkward exit because Navani is still blaming Shallan for Yasna.
She's got some healing to do. I don't know if it's really like actual blame. You know, like Navani is a smart enough person to understand the situation, but it's just, I guess it's like looking at that person who brought you the news, like seeing them every time. It's like, fuck. It just makes me feel bad to like see your face.
I'm surprised that you're saying that she's smarter than that. I feel like Navani is acting very emotionally in this case.
Yeah, but like she understood, like, you know, when Dalinar was like, Navani, like, and she's like, no, I know, I cannot handle this right now. Like, I feel like she is letting her emotions guide her decisions, but is smart enough to like realize that. Like, she knows. She's aware of it. She's just like self-indulging. I don't
know that we've had enough of her perspective to be able to say that.
All right.
We've only seen her leave the room. Like, we haven't seen her do anything else since Shallan showed up. We haven't spent any time with her, even with Dalinar, because we haven't had Dalinar's POV this whole time. So I actually don't know that there is any evidence that Navani is having that kind of back and forth with anybody. Because even well, it's sort of the like I know it's not actually her fault, but like I just can't be around her right now.
Oh,
like,
that was in the scene where Shallan brought like the news.
Yes, but it's been weeks, and she still leaves the room every time Shallan shows up. So like
sorry, at this point, hasn't it been a week, maybe?
Since Shallan got to the Shattered Plains?
Yeah.
Fuck, I can't keep track of the timeline here, so maybe?
Because I know that Elith says we'll duel in a week, and they did their, like, challenge on it, like, basically right after Shallan arrived. So
so it's been a week.
My best guess would be a week to a week and a half. But I don't know if it's, like, explicitly clear.
I'm just saying that I don't think that there's enough evidence of what you're saying for me to believe that there isn't going to be a moment where Navani blows up at her in the future.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, I think there's a chance that there's, like, a screaming match, or not like a screaming match, but, like, a moment where Navani, like, really lays into Shallan inappropriately, but in a way that, like, empathetically as humans we understand, right?
Right.
Like, Navani's relationship with her daughter and losing her daughter, I think that her blowing up at Shallan in a moment of weakness would be very, like, almost endearing, make Navani feel very human, right?
Sure, yeah.
In a way that I think that could still happen. I don't think that she's level-headed about it.
Yeah, that's fair. I do feel bad because Shallan obviously, like, wants to have a connection with Navani, especially through Jasnah and Jasnah's notes and Jasnah's research.
Yeah.
But obviously you can't really, like, push that kind of thing. That's got to be Navani.
No, 100%, yeah.
Coming to Shallan.
And I think she will. I just don't... I've not seen any evidence that she's close yet. Which is unfortunate, because they really should be working together.
Except for Adolin, making an offhand comment of, like, no, I think she's open to it. You just give her some time. That's kind of, like, all that we get.
Yeah. And here's the thing, I don't actually, like, really trust Adolin's opinion on how women are feeling. You know what I mean?
That's valid.
Like,
that is valid.
In terms of the conversation of, like, whose opinion, who do I think actually, like, has a read on Navani? I don't think that Adolin is a character whose opinion on women I trust.
No, I think that's absolutely valid.
And you know what? It's his own fault. So Adolin, Relis, the guy that he actually wanted to show up, shows up. Relis, the dueling champion. And Adolin's like, look, dude, 6 shards against your 2. And Relis is like, fuck you, you embarrassed my brother. And Adolin's like, you can bring whoever the fuck you want, and I will fight you. And he should have said both, but he never says both. He just says, I'll fight all y'all.
All of you.
I'll fight all y'all.
We knew it the moment this happened that it was not going to be a 2-on-1. Like
1,000%.
Yeah.
And then I love that this does lead to Lan getting mentioned. In later on, it's like there are tales of men fighting 6 men.
Oh, literally, like
there's like a direct Wheel of Time reference in the book.
Yeah. We were like, hey, we know what that's from.
And the chapter ends with Shallan being like, hey, I want to go out on the Shattered Plains. I want to see more. We got to do stuff. And he's like, all right, I'm going to try. Chapter 54, Vale's Lesson. There also came 16 of the Order of Windrunners, and with them a considerable number of squires. And finding in that place the Skybreakers, dividing the innocent from the guilty, there ensued a great debate.
Sure.
The epitaphs here are, like, unparsable to me right now.
Like, genuinely, they're written in such a way that is inaccessible, and also, like, purposefully, not that that's, like, a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's very clearly, like, a scholar trying to be fucking scholarly. I read them, and then I read them again, and then I sigh, and I just move on, and I don't worry about it.
And then I sigh, and then I move on.
Yeah. Yeah. Love that for us. Anyways, Shallan is Vale again.
Yeah.
Going to hang out with the Ghostbloods.
Ghostbloods.
Yeah. Raze is like, what do you think about my blow dart? Shallan is like, I mean, this is what I imagine it would be for. And he's like, yes, okay, good. I'm like, what? This guy is weirdly obsessed with his, like, blow weapon.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, calm down. You know, it's a little bit aggressive.
But she fucks up, and in her distinguishing herself, in her breakdown of the blow dart, Mraize goes, "Oh, so Tin got a scholar this time, huh?
Yeah.
That's weird. She usually makes terrible choices of companions." And Shallan's like, "Oh, fuck."
Oh, fuck that. Oh, yeah, no, we're just trying something new.
And then Shallan fucks
You
up.
killed her, didn't you? Shallan's like, yep.
Yeah.
You caught me.
Shallan really, like, shits the bed in this encounter many ways over.
Well, she gets lucky because he's like, well, she wasn't actually a Ghostblood yet, so I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, but then she, like, is like, "Oh, no, I drew those from memory." And he's like, "Oh, you can do that." And she's like, "Fuck."
Yeah. Yeah.
Now
Shallan...
I
totally, like, can't do it very well, though. You know, it's, like, really,
well, no,
like,
she just
bad.
can't do words. So she can't, like... Well, we know she can, but she realizes in this that she's given away enough information that now Shallan, her actual persona, has to pretend that she can't do things that she can do. Otherwise, the Ghostbloods might find out that she is Vale. And so she's put herself in this weird position where Vale now has skills that Shallan doesn't. And she has to remember those things because she keeps fucking up.
Yeah. She basically can only draw things that are, like, in front of her to try and hide this. Maybe. We'll see.
Judah, thank you for that super chat. Mraize is also so unnecessarily creepy. Mraize? No. He's just a totally normal guy.
Nah, he's a weirdo. Don't like him.
He's just a
Don't trust him.
totally normal dude.
Little shit. Yeah. No, not into it. Arzu, welcome back to the nerds. Radiant Mraize, he was mustache twirly. Yeah, I get that vibe.
Yeah.
Where, yeah, he's like, well...
They might also not be evil, though, so, like, I don't really know.
I mean, Mraize was like, these other people will probably try and kill you, and that's fine.
Oh, the being, like, hyper defensive of your place in the counter society does not mean that your counter society is the evil society, though. You understand? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're at a point in this book where the what the fuck is going on is so occluded, and everybody's actual motivations are a mystery. Not their motivations. The moral value of their goals is such a mystery point in the series right now.
Yeah.
That the Ghostbloods could be the good guys.
I'm gonna hazard a guess at murdering people in a hospital doesn't make you the good guys. Just throwing that out there.
Sure. That is an evil action, right?
Uh-huh.
That even these Ghostbloods say is not what the rest of them are doing, right?
Uh-huh.
Like they are not holding Taravangian in high esteem here, where they're like, that fool is doing his bullshit in the city. All Ghostbloods are not Taravangian. And
Sure.
Taravangian clearly doesn't represent the entire order. So, like, they might literally be like, look, we can't do anything about that.
Yeah, but if you're at a rally and someone has a Nazi flag, you're at a Nazi rally, right? Like,
not in this case. That is not what's happening here. Because they're not...
seems to be a pretty powerful person in their society.
We literally don't know that. All we know is that they're like, that fool is doing his dipshit shit over in Kharbranth, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah.
Like, they're unless they're going to raise an army to go raid Kharbranth, they're just kind of like, there's more important shit for us to be doing elsewhere, and that city is, you know what I mean?
They're definitely okay with murdering one another, though, so...
Oh, well, no, not one another. They're only okay with murdering people who aren't one of them yet.
Oh!
So once Shallan...
that's fine.
No, but once Shallan gets the tattoo, which I'm assuming is just going to be a light weave that she keeps on herself at all times.
Yeah, she can't actually get a tattoo. Like, yeah.
Like, if we see Mraize in a scene with Taravangian working with him later on, I will change my mind about that.
Yeah.
But right now, all we've seen is that they technically come from the same order, and in the scene, they're like, they think that Taravangian's a fucking idiot, right? Like, they think that he's wasting his time doing his bullshit over there.
Yeah. But they don't condemn his actions. They just think he's wasting his time.
I mean, that is a form of condemnation, but sure.
I guess.
If you think that murdering a bunch of innocent people is a waste of time, then that's somewhat a condemnation of the value of murdering a bunch of people.
I don't know. I wouldn't say calling it a waste of time is a particularly strong condemnation. Oh,
it's not a strong condemnation.
What a terrible use of your time. Like,
I mean,
it's not like, oh, it's wrong. But
but this gets into like the difficulty around. They think they're trying to stop the apocalypse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, wasting time in the face of stopping an apocalypse is a condemnation of your values and of your ability to critically think.
I mean, yeah.
And these are people who, I'm not saying that their morality is pure. These are not great people.
Yeah.
But they might end up...
Sure.
The point I'm trying to make is that they might end up having the greatest cause at the end of this. They might be the banner that everybody else has to
here's the thing.
fall under in order to save everybody.
We don't know really what the Ghostbloods' goals are. We don't have enough information yet. If the Ghostbloods are trying to, like, get rid of the whole Light Eyes, Dark Eyes thing, like, they might be...
The Ghostbloods might be, at the end of the day, like, the Ghostbloods might be the Kelsier's crew of this book. Just
with some, like, more evil and creepy people. Obviously, like, Murray's doesn't seem like a good person.
Yeah, but, like, you could write Mistborn. You could write the first Mistborn book from the perspective that the Kelsier is a crazy murderer in the night who takes a 13-year-old girl and turns her into a killing machine. You know what I mean? Like, it's all about perspective.
Sure, yeah.
And so it's the tough thing about, like, we might find out the Ghostbloods are actually, like, the only people who are right. And as Surge 2200 says, the Ghostbloods do seem to be less racist, which is, like,
less racist is good than more racist. So yeah,
it's tough. It is tough because it's like Taravangian is bleeding people out in a hospital, and Sadeas is bleeding Bridgman out to death by running them into arrow fire intentionally to use them as cattle.
Definitely agree that Sadeas is a piece of shit.
I know, but Sadeas is also, like, has the blessing of Elhokar to do it. So the reality of this situation is none of them are really better than the others. They're just doing it differently.
Yeah.
The good guys are a handful of people in two systems that are both awful.
Let's be honest. The good guys are just Pattern and Syl.
Kenny tells you, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you,
Sorry,
Kenny.
I'm way behind. Shiny High Knees is a play on Radiant and High Storm, part of the Nerds Radiant.
Oh, like Shiny, Radiant. I see. Okay. Definitely missed that part of it.
That was... Yeah.
It's fine, we got there.
I see the connection now.
Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat. Popcorn. I have a feeling we are either, like, so close or, like, so far off. Like, the Ghostbloods are either, like, the good guys, or the Ghostbloods are working for Odium and intent on the eradication of, like, human life. You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah, it's so weird, right? Because on the other side of it, Amaram is bad to the Parshendi. But Amaram and but Amaram was working with Gavilar
to try and bring the heralds back.
But Gavilar was reading The Way of Kings, which we are led to believe through our following Dalinar in book 1 is like a path of righteousness, but very much could be not that.
No, I think that I think that I would have enough evidence from passages of The Way of Kings that are explicitly read to us I would bet that The Way of Kings is like morally, like, right, I guess is the way, like, way of living.
It's not about whether or not the book is or not.
Yeah.
It is about the interpretation.
Like the Bible.
And yes. And so the problem with The Way of Kings is that it isn't actually about who wrote it. It is about how people thousands of years later interpret the writing.
Yeah.
And so Gavilar, the morality of Way of Kings doesn't actually matter, right? There's no morality in a book. But it is about our interpretations of and what we do with the lessons we learn from that book.
Yeah.
And so Gavilar could have taken a book that, from its writing, is great, but is using it to do something that's really bad.
Yeah.
Right? And so either Gavilar and Amaram had a great plan, and Amaram is just a sick fuck who's also a good person when it comes to the apocalypse, but a bad person when it comes to treating dark-eyed people.
Well, here's the thing. Like, he is, we know for a fact, he is just a person who believes that the means justify the ends, no matter what. That's why he's friends with Sadeas. That's why he thinks that he could kill Bridgman because, or
you
not
mean,
Bridgman.
You mean that
like,
the ends justify the means no matter what?
Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
I was like, the means are justifying the ends?
No,
okay.
Sorry. The ends justify whatever means you take to get there, because I'm sure that Amaram truly believes that the shard blade is best in his hands because he has information that no one else has and he can put it to good use, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah. At which point do you become a terrible person? Like, when do the means, where's the line? And if there is no line, then, which I don't think there is for Amaram, then it doesn't matter.
But the Ghostbloods and Amaram are clearly not working together.
No.
Now, funnily, that also doesn't mean they don't have the exact same goal. They might just not know that they have the exact same goal. Like, they might... There's a world where they maybe should be best friends and aren't. Because they just have not talked. Because Amaram is a racist. But, so is Elhokar. So, like, I don't know what to do about any of this shit, man. And also, so is Dalinar. Well, we'll get to it. Anyway, so Shallan does good enough that she gets the next task, but also Mraize is like, hey, everyone at this table, this bitch can draw you from memory, so if you want to kill her, go ahead. I don't want you to do it because I think she's hot and I'm definitely trying to smash, but I am a fuckboy and I'm probably trying to smash every woman who works for us. Probably. So do what you're going to do. And so Shallan gets in her parchment carriage, drives off a little bit, and then hides herself in a fake rock. Like the spare key in the back of the house.
Yep.
And then the carriage pulls off. And she just sits there for like 8 hours.
I mean, it's gotta be an extensive length of time. Turns out when she gets out of the rock, she goes and walks back home and passes the carriage that she sent along its way without her. And everyone's dead. It's burned. It's made to look like bandits. And she laments that she inadvertently got these people killed.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. It's a weird position to be in, because obviously if she'd been in there, then she also would have died.
Yeah.
But, like at this point, the only way to save those lives would have been to have never contacted the Ghostbloods. So...
Well, and it gets into a tough thing of, like, how are you supposed to interact with a world as violent and dangerous as this without your actions incurring some violence and danger, right?
Yeah.
And, I think that Shallan is appropriately emotional about it. And, I'm glad that she cares, but sadly, this is not going to be the last bit of death on her hands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is not going to be the end of the misery and pain that her actions bring into the world. Yeah. And that's just the reality of the situation.
It's only downhill from here for Shallan.
And, that sucks. But at the same time, I think that there is a real value in her ability to be empathetic for even the Parshmen in this, right? The Parshmen who she thinks are the Voidbringers. And I think that it says a lot about her as a character that in this loss... that, is a real lesson for her, is something that she did not foresee well, right? She is able to have empathy not just for the coachman, but also for the Parshmen pulling the carriage, who, I think that there are other characters who would not even view them as a loss, who would not even view them as something to be guilty for.
Sadeas, yeah.
Dalinar, Adolin, any of the Light Eyes.
Sorry, you think...
What? I don't think any of the High Princes would view the loss of Parshmen as a loss. I think that Sadeas wouldn't even care about the coachman, but I think that Dalinar and Adolin would care about the coachman in a way that Sadeas wouldn't. But I think that the Parshmen pulling the carriage, I don't think that Dalinar and Adolin would view that as a loss empathetically the way Shallan does. I don't.
Yeah.
And that's not me trying to, like, fucking come for them. I'm saying that, like, the Parshmen are so out of sight, out of mind in the writing of this book to all of the Light Eyes.
No, they're treated like, basically, like horses, or less than horses. Horses are more expensive than Parshmen, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're basically, treated like, what are those, like, oxen that you pull a cart? Like...
Ox?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what they are.
That wasn't a real question. That was just
I was like,
phrased poorly.
You know, what are those kind of oxen that pull cart? The cart oxen.
Yeah, those ones.
Specifically the
cart oxen.
You know, that race of oxen known as cart oxen.
Honestly, we've probably bred them in a way that makes some of them better for pulling carts. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
We have bred everything to be worse because we want them to only have one job.
Cart oxen. Jesus Christ.
Anyway, this is pretty great. It's actually kind of rough to read. But don't worry. Clara says that Shallan's part of this book is not depressing at all. So she's really upset here. Shallan is like deeply moved by the loss. And Shallan and Pattern have a conversation about light weaving. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you should be able to make sounds.
You did it one time. And she's like, la 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 la.
Chapter 55, the rules of the game. Kaladin is with Adolin, and they're taking a carriage to go meet Shallan, to go on the dinner date. Oh, in the previous chapter, Shallan was like, I can't do tonight. I'm busy. But I'm really excited for dinner tomorrow night. And Adolin's like, dinner with who tomorrow night? She's like, you're taking me out to dinner tomorrow night. And he's like, I guess I am. Ladies, if you want to ask a man out and you're pretty sure he's into you, this is the best way to do it. Just tell him that he's taking you out. Men fucking eat that shit up. I'm telling you right now.
Just tell him what to do. He'll love it.
It's not, no, you gotta be careful with that early on in a relationship. You gotta earn that a little bit.
No, I know.
You know what I mean? That can be a little off-putting if it's before you've started something. But
they're already engaged. I think at that point, they've started
Shallan can definitely tell Adolin what to do. But this is like date 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, just be like, yeah, tomorrow night you're taking me out. Gentlemen love that shit.
Right.
Unless they're in a relationship, then don't do that. Don't be a fucking homewrecker.
We're going for my birthday dinner next week, right?
Sure. Yeah. How many more birthday celebrations do you fucking need?
You said we could go out for dinner because I didn't get to see you on my actual birthday.
I'm so kidding. I will take you out for dinner tonight. Do you want to have dinner tonight?
It's Friday.
We have so much food.
That's true. No, we'll go next week.
Let's go next week.
We'll go next week, yeah. I saw nobody that I knew on my birthday because I was on set, so I took myself to the keg.
Yeah, steakhouse.
Honestly, it was great.
Judah Canizares says, how kinky do you think Shallan and Adolin will be?
Thank you for that super chat. Here's the thing. I think Shallan is more adventurous than Adolin is. Like, Shallan is... No. Yeah, okay.
I disagree.
She gets off by, like, this, like, adrenaline thrill. Like,
not sexually.
Not yet, because she has never been horny before. She doesn't know what that feels like.
Shallan will take, like, a year to open up. And then we'll get kinky.
No.
But Adolin is kinky now.
No, here's the thing. I think that it starts, like kink level, this is high, this is low. It starts with, like, Shallan and, like, Adolin, right? And it's going to kind of just go like this. Where eventually she
I agree with that.
Like,
I agree with that. Yeah. But Shallan has so much trauma around, like, watching her husband or watching her father and his wife and watching, like, the relationships in her house. Shallan has so much trauma around physical connection with people that in an intimate way. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that given Shallan's upbringing and the way in which she is starting to find herself in not being herself, I think that Shallan has a lot of work to have healthy sexual relationships with Adolin, and it's going to take time. And I think that if they get into kink too soon, it will actually be very bad for her. And Shallan needs to become comfortable with just intimacy and honesty in a very, like, normal way first before they can kind of get into that other stuff. Yeah, for sure. No, I definitely think that it's going to take some time for Shallan. But I think they're going to be married for a long time, so... Oh, 100%. And I think they'll get there eventually, but there is some, like, work that needs to be done first. Yeah. Before they can ramp up into anything else. Whereas Adolin is ready now. Adolin's a little fuckboy. Adolin will... He was born ready. Well, and he's an entitled, like, fucking prince. Like, he's... You know, he's gonna be down for doing literally anything. Yeah. You know? Mark says Nerdy actually took the question seriously, lol. He ruined the joke. No. Guys,
no, it's actually funny if you do the yes and.
This is
what makes
not the comedy
funny.
store. This is not the Yuck Yuck Factory. This is a serious show done by serious people. Professionals at the height of their craft. Mm-hmm. You come in here asking for me to tell jokes? Who the fuck do you think you are?
We don't joke here.
No.
No
I've never made a joke once in my life. This is sponsored by NPR. Guys, we take our...
Do they not make jokes?
Can you imagine us trying to be on NPR?
No.
Ira Glass is sitting there like, so, Nerdy and Clarus, you started a company in 2020, and I'm like, yeah! We were on Twitch playing Among Us. You ever play Among Us, Ira?
They'd be like, no, what is Among Us?
We would do a Tiny Desk concert, and I would be so loud that they would be like, we need a bigger desk. Like, we're actually, like, breaking.
Just, like, turn down his mic. Yeah, no, keep, Oh, God. No, a little bit more.
You know what? I think they can actually hear him in the car if we turn the mics off, so we'll just turn the mics off.
That would be impressive, actually.
Okay, anyway.
Anyways, Shallan is like, take me on a date, and Adolin's like, yes, ma'am. So they go pick up Shallan.
Yeah.
And turns out that Wit is driving the carriage.
Yeah.
Because why not? Wit is around. Elhokar doesn't know.
Yeah.
Classic. And everyone is very confused as to how everybody knows Wit. Like, you know, I feel like Kaladin and Adolin obviously knowing who Wit is makes sense. And then Shallan is like, you! And they're like, wait, how the fuck do you know Wit?
Yeah.
Adolin gets like 5% jealous.
Scuff.
Like 5%.
Andy says, thank you guys for chat. Serious show. They choke on the cock sound. They do. They choke on... Well, we'll get to that in the intervals,
We didn't write
Scuffed.
that, okay?
We'll get to that in the intervals. Come on.
We'll get there. Thank you, Scuff Andy. I appreciate that so much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The Wit stuff is weird to me.
Weird because he's an interdimensional space traveling, time traveling alien
100%
from another
that.
planet.
100% that.
Yeah.
Who's also like prophetic and can see the future.
Yeah, he's fucking magic.
I know. I don't like. The more the Wit that we're using Wit to be like a goofy clown.
Wit is the Doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, he is the Doctor, but he's not related to the plot of this book. He just shows up to sort of like hint at things. And it's not actually something that it's not something that I'm enjoying the more it's being used. And I wish that I was, but I would actually be fine if they just cut all of the Wit stuff.
All right.
Like I just none of it's working for me. Wit knowing in advance that they were gonna go to the zoo, is something that makes me like, so Wit can just see the future? Like, what are we doing with this character?
Here's the thing. I think that I like Wit. I like that Wit is there. I think if you took him out, it wouldn't really affect the story that much, which is kind of why I'm fine that he's there. If Wit was like directing traffic, like, I think that would be too much for me, and I'd be, like, kind of annoyed at it. But he's just kind of a little bit of extra seasoning on top that doesn't affect the dish very much. And so I enjoy his moments, but it's not, like, my favorite thing in the world. If he was, like, any more, like,
I just think the more that the series uses him, for my taste, the more the series uses him as some sort of, like, comedic relief that I don't find funny.
What do you mean? You laugh when we react to him all the time.
I laugh when he's making fun of people because Brandon Sanderson will write good jokes, right? In the way that he's being used in this chapter, I didn't find it humorous. I just kind of found it weird in a way that, like, didn't work. This chapter just didn't work for me because of Wit. I wanted to focus on the Shallan and Adolin and, like, Kaladin and the funny thing about this chapter to me, the funny joke is that Kaladin is awkwardly interrupting this date because he doesn't trust Shallan. And then when they get to the menagerie, Dalinar and Amaram show up to the zoo because Dalinar heard that his son was there somehow and decided that even though he had a secret Amaram promotion that he wanted to show the world at a secret meeting, he decides to take Amaram to the zoo to let the cat out of the bag early because his son was
because
there.
Politics. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we have this super secret thing I totally can't tell you, but since I'm here and I have your attention, like, that's so, like, political cringe. Like,
Sure. But, like, that's funnier to me than anything Wit did in the scene.
okay.
And Wit having this relationship with Shallan, and we're going to get to it by the end of the book club today, and I want to talk about this throughout the book club, but despite how good I think the world building of this series is, the world is starting to feel very small to me. Because everyone is so deeply connected, despite the fact that Alethkar is supposed to be massive.
Yeah.
And we're going to particularly get into it when we start talking about Rishon in a few chapters, but it's just honestly how I feel. I think that if Wit starts to become integrated in the plot in some way at some point, I will feel differently. But right now, it just sort of, it's just not really working for me.
All right.
Yeah. I don't love him. And every time he shows up, I'm just kind of like, if you are trying to be helpful, actually be helpful. Instead of just showing up to be ominous and trying comedy.
I mean, I find him funny.
And I'm glad that you do. Like,
yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm just saying that it's not working for me.
Well, you said that you find him funny when he makes fun of people, which is all he does.
No, I found him funny in, like, the first book more.
Because he was literally making fun of people.
Yeah, I just, like, the Kaladin, the flute scene with Kaladin on the rocks. Was not funny,
but I don't think it was
didn't do anything for me. I just was kind of like, why is this here? This scene, yeah. I'm like, why is this here? I just, like, I don't...
There's some flute stuff that I'm sure is gonna be important later. Maybe. We'll see. Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat. Wit was driving, no one was watching where. He could drive out of the way to get the guy he told to hide, no magic needed. Wait, what?
So basically, Johnny Coleman's arguing that Wit didn't know that they were going to go to the menagerie. Wit just knew that they were going in the direction of, like, society. And so he just told the guy to hide in a place and Wit would meet him there. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I mean, him getting on the carriage doesn't seem that magical to me. That seems perfectly mundane. Judah, thank you for that super chat. My brother always compared him to Tom Bombadil. He's just kind of there, doesn't affect things, but exists as this wild other in the universe. Yeah, I get that in the same way that, like, if you adapted this, you could cut Wit/Hoid, and I don't think it would affect...
Probably would.
Well, it depends if you, like, were committed to a wider, like, Cosmere series, right? Because in that case, I think that leaving a thread for the people who watch all of it is fun in a way where he doesn't affect the story that much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But if you were only doing, like, Stormlight, like, yeah, I think that you'd have to have that discussion of whether or not he works in a different medium. Because, yeah, I think that I think that he works for me, but it's not, like, my favorite part of it. Like, if you cut Wit, I'd be like, okay, sure.
I would not care at all.
Yeah. Kimi, thank you for that super chat. Wit feels like Shakespearean fool type character. Yeah, who's just kind of there to poke fun at the rich.
Yeah. Kevin says, I wish you guys allowed some things to be cleared up since it seems to be impacting your enjoyment. The whole Wit situation isn't that crazy when you know a bit more info. What?
Well, we could just
here's
not
my argument.
do book club.
You guys could just explain the Stormlight Archive to us, and we could have no opinions. And then the point of this show would be watch us read chat?
Yeah.
Would that be interesting to people?
We could do that. Yeah. We could just not
maybe that would be interesting to people.
Any opinions until we finish all of the books.
Yes.
Okay.
Great. So we'll see you guys in like 6 months after Wind and Truth comes out, and we'll do one book club on all 3 books, and that'll be really great content.
Yeah, that seems great.
Yeah.
We'll
Mr. Kite's right. We could just read the Wikipedia summary.
That's fun.
Yeah. Sorry, Kevin. I feel like I'm being mean. Here's my thing. People keep being like, why do you guys have opinions about the episode of TV you're reacting to? Just watch the whole season. And I'm like, why did you click on an episode reaction where we told you the exact piece of media that we were going to be having our opinions on, and are confused why we didn't watch more than the thing the thumbnail and the video title told you we were going to consume?
Yeah.
Right? Like, it really is, it's just an argument that people throw at us so much that I'm like, why watch any videos then? Why not just, if all you care about is that people can only have an opinion once they have all the information, read the book and come up with it yourself. If you don't want to hear what other people think.
You could, if you just want to watch the full book recaps, then, you totally can. But we want to do the podcast weekly, and this is a lot of reading to do in a single week. So. Yeah.
It's one of those it doesn't matter. So they see a white spine for the first time. It's cool. It's not as dangerous as Kaladin thought, and then Syl kind of just...
We find out that the white spine doesn't do good in cages in captivity. Oh, and that they can, kind of become dormant, but that, the zookeepers keep, washing the, shell,
It's not that they go dormant. It's that they, chrysalis into their next... They grow that way. And so by not allowing them to chrysalis, they're not growing.
Oh, I thought it was, a hibernation thing.
Yeah, but the hibernation is necessary for them to, grow. Right?
Okie dokie.
They need to, pupate into their next form.
Yeah.
And so by keeping them from getting into the chrysalis, they're not growing into...
Yeah.
No.
Because it also seems like the chrysalis period is kind of an undetermined amount of time.
Yeah.
So, they could go in there and go dormant forever, but it is the, phase between.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The zoo was fun. I don't know what these fucking chickens are. I feel like it's a joke that I'm supposed to get, and I don't yet.
I don't think it's a joke. I think it's just that Sanderson was like, the animals here are weird.
Okay, sure.
Right?
I don't know. I just feel like I'm missing something.
I don't know.
I don't know why chickens are parrots. Okay, that's what I thought, but I swear to God that they said it was fur and not feathers. And so I don't know.
I have no idea.
Maybe I'm misremembering or misread, but I was like, or maybe they don't know what feathers are. No,
they're birds. Saying it in chat. All birds are chickens. That's the joke.
Oh. Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Great. It is a joke that went over my head. And that's fine. There are no native birds on Roshar. Oh, wild. Okay. Cool.
But then, how are there chickens?
Well, because they're not from Roshar.
Then where are they fucking from?
The islands. With the
What do you mean there's no native birds on Roshar? Then how are there chickens?
Oh, chicken is their generic word for bird.
Okay, guys, Shinovar is on Roshar. You can't just say that there's no birds in Roshar except Shinovar. Well, you could say that, but you can't just say there's no birds in Roshar when it's all Roshar. It's all we got. We don't have anywhere else.
So we've got crabs and we've got chickens.
Yes.
Those are the two animals. Oh, and we have axehounds.
Which are
Those
crabs.
are the three animals that we get.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Nicholas, thank you. Welcome back to the Nerds Radiant. Due to the storms there are not that many flying animals except for spring. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess if you had wings and a high storm blew in, you'd have to find some pretty incredible shelter to stop from being flung about in the air.
Sure.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm glad we cleared that up.
Oh, there are sky eels.
Guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't care enough about the animals on this fucking planet to keep talking about this.
Yes, they do have claw roosters, canonically. I have made it so.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't care.
I did, that's why I asked.
I know you do. I'm aware that you do. But I'm not a pet guy.
No, I didn't get the joke of this chicken thing, and I felt like I was missing something, which very clearly I was. So I do love that for me. Anyways, They're at the zoo.
So we get to Dalinar showing up to crash his son's date for no, really apparent reason.
Oh, yeah, some weird political ploy of showing off Amaram before the actual, announcement of it. Yeah.
And Amaram has a distinctive cloak, and Dalinar announces to the crowd that he's refounding the Knights Radiant.
Dun, dun, dun!
Dalinar lost a lot of respect for me this week of reading.
Sleek Sheep, thank you for that super chat. Seems like there was a spoiler in there.
Don't know what you wrote, but thank you for your...
Well, thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Dalinar lost a lot of respect for me this week.
Why?
We'll get to it. We'll keep getting to it. There's multiple reasons, but this is one of them. You can't just, like, say someone's a Knights Radiant.
He doesn't know that.
He should.
How?
Because he should talk to people. Dalinar is a...
Who is he going to talk to?
Dalinar is a powerful leader, but the way in which he goes about things is a little misguided sometimes.
I have
because he
no
believes
idea how to become a Knights Radiant, so I'm just going to announce it. Like,
that's not a good strategy. That's actually like a bad plan.
They undercut Sadeas
You understand
pretty well.
that that's a bad plan, right?
Well, they
you
gotta
don't
start
undercut
somewhere.
Sadeas because Amaram fucking works for the guy.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you undercut Sadeas by making him the Knights Radiant.
Except Amaram might not be on Dalinar's side. Dalinar is making a bunch of fucking assumptions that are not going to work out in his favor. And like, come on.
Dalinar has known
you
Amaram
fucking
for
know they're not
years.
going to work out in his favor. I know. And he doesn't fucking know him properly. He's trusting him despite the fact that Amaram is a fucking snake.
Okay, but he doesn't know that. He has known this person for years, okay? Like, literally, was a close friend of Gavilar. Like, we've worked together. He's a man of honor. I hear all these stories about him. Like, people like Amaram. And so, it seems like a pretty fucking stand-up dude. Dalinar has literally no reason to believe that what he's doing will, Dalinar doesn't know that fucking Amaram's trying to bring the Voidbringers back.
100%.
He can't know that.
Dalinar also doesn't fucking know what the Knights Radiant were. And so Dalinar being like, this guy's a Knights Radiant, he's actually going to lead the Knights Radiant, is hubris beyond measure.
So then should he just
it's
not?
a fucking terrible plan, because guess what happens in the next fucking chapter of the book? Amaram doesn't get up to help help out Adolin. He immediately fucks Dalinar over. Okay. Immediately. Because Dalinar makes some assumptions because he's like, I'm a big good leader, man, and I'm just going to do shit and hope that it works out.
With the, 30-day countdown that they have now, do you want Dalinar to, like, Google how to become a Knights Radiant, or...
You're being, like, real pushback. I hear the tone. I get it. And, look, I get the argument you're trying to make. Just calling Amaram a Knights Radiant accomplishes fucking nothing. And so Dalinar...
don't agree with that.
What does it accomplish?
Because, like it's explained, it allies... Dalinar, Amaram with Dalinar, when Amaram is also part of Sadeas's kingdom, princedom, or whatever it's called, right? And so it gives Dalinar a lot of credit because it undermines Sadeas. Yeah, it's being like, one of Sadeas's guys agrees with me.
No, it's
that is like
Dalinar
a big deal.
Giving Amaram power.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy landed right on your face.
Yeah, I saw that.
This is immediately a disaster. On every level, this is immediately a disaster.
It is a disaster because we know that Kaladin is a Knights Radiant, but here's the thing. They have literally 30 days, and Dalinar is like, I really gotta try and unite people, and the only thing that I know is the Way of Kings because I can't fucking read. And so we need to bring them back so that we have some kind of order and structure to bring people together to stop the fucking Everstorm.
I think that what's really misguided about the way that you're viewing it is that you're viewing it as he needed to make a political ploy in this moment, but the political dangers of I don't think you're considering that the Knights Radiant are considered like the boogeymen of this world. Yeah, and so to bring in Amaram as a Knights Radiant in a way that Amaram will not accomplish anything as a Knights Radiant. Amaram cannot bring any change to this situation because you gave him a fucking title. And so the people who are going to be a significant chunk of the population is going to look at this announcement and go, the Knights Radiant fucking betrayed us. How dare you? And there's going to be a skeptical group of people who go, great, let's see what this Knight Radiant can do. And he can't fucking do anything. Okay, Amaram does not have the ability to sway even the skeptical people to believing that this is a good move long term.
But there is a large amount of people who are going to say, oh, Amaram is one of Sadeas's guys, and he believes in Dalinar's vision and what Dalinar is doing. That is significant.
Significant for what?
For the future of Alethkar.
Sure.
Dalinar is trying to unite Alethkar.
That falls apart immediately if Amaram can't do anything.
What do you mean do anything? People don't know.
He has to be the Knights Radiant. You are putting the mantle of heroic history on this man to do something.
He's got a shard blade and a shard blade.
And he's not going to be able to accomplish fucking anything.
Well, you're expecting people to understand what the magical powers of the Knights Radiant were,
no,
and
I'm
nobody
not.
knows that.
I'm saying that Amaram, by being the Knights Radiant, has to convince them of something.
No, Amaram has already set up his reputation.
A fucking idiot.
Amaram has already set up his reputation to be pristine. He is a good man of honor who treats people wonderfully. Like, that's what the people believe of him, and so seeing him become a Knights Radiant automatically spins that into a positive.
Until nothing happens.
What do you want to happen?
No, I'm saying that Dalinar needs Amaram now to pull off a fucking miracle in order for his power to not be diminished.
Why?
But because if Amaram cannot do anything as the new Knights Radiant, and it comes across as a sham to everybody, Dalinar looks like a fool.
But what is he supposed to do?
That's the problem. That is 100% the problem with Dalinar's plan. He has to do something, but there is nothing for him to do.
No, anyone can, Dalinar could be like, I'm gonna make this person a High Prince. And they don't have to do anything for that. They just become a High Prince.
But that's not what... No. That is not the same at all. He's giving Amaram the position of magical guardian of the historic past that we now view as a moral bad, right?
And so
Amaram
morally
has to
pure
somehow do
person.
something to change the perspective of the Knights Radiant.
No, he's already done that. That's what I mean.
He hasn't. He literally has not. He hasn't done anything yet.
He has set up his
except
reputation.
Not go down into the pits of Adolin.
He has set up his reputation to be that of a person of honor and strength.
But he was already doing that before he was a Knights Radiant. So now he has to take the mantle of Knights Radiant and do something with it.
I don't see why.
Because otherwise people don't give a fuck. Otherwise it looks like it was purely a political nothing move. Don't agree.
Everything is political.
Okay, but you can't just say that because some people are gonna go, oh, Dalinar and Adolin or Amaram are working together, this was a net good. It clearly isn't. It immediately falls apart because Kaladin challenges him. So,
okay, sure, but how the fuck was Dalinar supposed to know that?
Because Kaladin fucking told him.
Okay, but he wasn't hey, I'm gonna go kill Amaram. Dalinar couldn't have known what would happen. I would
maybe talk to the guy before you announce it publicly. Because he's the captain. If I was Dalinar, and this is where some of my respect was lost from him. If I was Dalinar, and I'd previously had a conversation with Kaladin, where Kaladin was like, hey man, this guy murdered a bunch of my friends. He's not the good person that you think he is. Before I announce to the world that I'm making Amaram the leader of the Knights Radiant, I would pull aside the captain of my personal guard and give him a heads up.
I mean, I think that Dalinar went and tried to find any kind of credibility to Kaladin's story, didn't find any,
and then didn't talk to Kaladin, and so instead announced that the guy that Kaladin hates more than anybody on the planet is going to be the leader of the Knights Radiant in front of Kaladin in public.
Yeah, Kaladin works for him.
He's the captain of your guard. He's the man who is protecting your family. He's the man that you claim to say that you respect. Mm-hmm. And this is not respect. This is being completely ignorant of the way that he might take this.
I mean, he's technically an employee.
That doesn't mean that you just run roughshod over people.
What do you mean?
That's not how you respect people. You don't just fucking ignore them.
I don't think that Dalinar... Obviously, Dalinar doesn't know that Kaladin is a Knights Radiant, so I don't know why he would go into his intimate detailed plans about restoring the Knights Radiant.
I'm not saying that he has to go into his intimate detailed plans, but he never talks to Kaladin about the fact that he investigated it. He says, Kaladin, that's enough. I'll deal with it. He goes off, does some stuff, never talks to Kaladin about that stuff. And then it's just oh, by the way, I made Amaram the leader of the most righteous knights of our country.
I just think that you are giving Kaladin more status in this situation than he actually has.
Kaladin has 1,000 soldiers under his command in Dalinar's army.
Do you think that
that gives you some fucking status?
Do you think that Dalinar went around to all of his officers and was like, I'm going to make Amaram a Knight Radiant?
He absolutely should have. Absolutely should have. Because this is a world where you don't know what the reaction is going to be. There could be riots in the streets at the talk of bringing back the Knights Radiant. Your officers, the people in charge of your protection detail, should be aware that you're about to make an announcement that might bring swords and spears to your door. Yes, absolutely he should have been aware. Kaladin should have been the first person aware that they were about to announce that they're bringing the fucking boogeymen back.
I don't agree with that. I think
you don't think that the captain of your guard, the person who protects you at night, should know that you're about to make a politically, like, insane maneuver that is going to tell people that we are going to try and bring back the people that we blame for all of our problems.
But they've already, like, let people know that they're trying to bring back the Knights Radiant. Like, that was a rumor
I know,
that
but the announcement should be planned in a way where the guard of your... The people who are responsible for keeping you alive while you sleep at night are aware that something might go down. Like, it is... I
mean, they already have assassins after them. I don't really know what more they could be doing.
Great. So then Kaladin doesn't need to know fucking anything. We'll just, leave him in the dark. That makes a lot of sense. That's a great strategy.
I don't believe that, like, Dalinar has any, like, would have any reason to confide in Kaladin about this.
All right. Yeah. Emrys the Librarian. Navani needs to invent a Google Fabrial stat.
Thank you for that super chat.
There was another one here. Yeah. Johnny Coleman, this is my favorite part of book club. Thank you for that super chat.
Oh my goodness.
Ernest Hill, thank you for that super chat. The President of the United States does not have to talk to the Secret Service or vets of the Iraqi war if he makes a deal with Iraq. Yeah, it's not comparable with the technology that we have now.
What do you mean?
Well, the President of the United States doesn't have to do that, but, you can't break, there's no riot in the world that could get to the President of the United States. We live in a completely different time. It would be like if the President of the United States were to not tell Congress that he was going to proclaim that somebody was Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? That would be somewhat of a comparable situation. But even then, the way that we exist as a society now, it wouldn't really work, right? Jesus could never come back. We're all too fucking skeptical because of the internet. None of us would buy into it. Dalinar failed. And look, we know that Dalinar failed in this because we have more information than Dalinar, right?
Yeah.
But I still think that Dalinar failed Kaladin here and will continue to fail Kaladin throughout these chapters in ways that is, disappointing. But I do think that announcing Amaram at a zoo as a Knights Radiant was a gamble that could have turned really bad, right? And I thought it was going to. When I found out the next chapter was called White Spine Uncaged, I thought that there was going to be a riot because they found out Amaram was a knight, and the people are going to be like, no, you can't fucking just bring back the Knights Radiant. And he did this in public without telling his guards that he was doing something crazy.
But his guards already know that he's trying to bring back the Knights Radiant. They've seeded
I know,
that
but he
rumor
didn't
for
do
weeks.
this in a private announcement. He did it at the fucking zoo.
Okay.
It would be like the President of the United States announcing that we're going to war in the middle of a football game without telling the Secret Service that shit might get crazy.
Well, no, because then the soldiers actually have to go to war, whereas saying that's like being like, I've created a new job title under the president, which is creative financial officer.
It's not like that at all. The Knights Radiant are the boogeymen. It's like proclaiming that the Dragon Reborn has returned. People are gonna freak the fuck out because they're scared of them.
Yeah, but
they
Dalinar's
betrayed everybody and they caused the apocalypse. This isn't, I created a chief financial officer. The Knights Radiant caused the apocalypse to these people. They are the things that go bump in the night. They are the knights who fell and betrayed the righteousness of mankind. They're not a job position.
Yeah, but that was after they fell. People know generally that the Knights Radiant were a good and wonderful thing at one point. They fell, they fucked up, right? They had a falling out or whatever it is. But people aren't the Knights Radiant are pure evil. They're a society, a faction of society that collapsed because of some tragedy, but they're not evil things that are trying to murder all our children.
All right, fine. Let's move on. It doesn't matter. So yeah, Amaram is gonna be the leader of the Knights Radiant, which I'm sure he's gonna be great at.
Definitely gonna be a problem. Here's the thing. I was wondering though. I was like, what if Amaram does have a spren? And we just don't know it yet because we don't have his POV.
I mean, what spren would he have? The bitch spren?
The terrible when it serves me spren. I don't know.
Douche spren, I like that.
Here's the thing. Like, we know that Amaram sucks for reasons, but, like, I don't know if the spren, like, choose, like, only good and righteous people. Like, obviously an honor spren would choose someone who is, like, honorable, but, I mean, Shallan has a spren that is a lie spren. So it's like, maybe there are, like, other evil spren. Maybe Amaram has a Voidbringer spren.
Probably. Given the decision-making that Dalinar portrays, I wouldn't be surprised if he fucked up that bad.
Who fucked up?
Dalinar.
You mean Dalinar has a Voidbringer spren?
No. I'm saying that given how bad Dalinar's decision-making is at times, I wouldn't be surprised if he fucked up so bad that he put the Voidbringer in charge of the Knights Radiant.
Well, he's trying to bring the Voidbringers back. Like, we know
Dalinar isn't.
Amaram is. That's what I mean.
Johnny, well, no. The Parshmen think that he's trying to bring back their gods. We still don't know what that means.
No, but
you're assuming that means the Voidbringers, but it might not.
No, I thought they were talking about how Gavilar wanted to bring the Voidbringers back, and Amaram and Gavilar had the same...
Gavilar wanted to bring back the Parshmen's gods.
Someone said they're trying to bring back the Voidbringers. Why? Where am I getting that from?
No, people think that, but we don't know that that's actually the truth. Right?
Okay.
Like, we've never heard Amaram say, I want to bring the Voidbringers back, but people are but I think that that's a red herring. I think we're going to find out that Gavilar did not want to bring the Voidbringers back, but that the Parshmen, I don't know. There's something's going on. I think that Amaram is not as bad as the book is portraying him to be.
Sure.
But because we get Kaladin's perspective of Amaram, we think he's as bad as as he's the worst.
Yeah. Like I said, he is the ends justify the means.
Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for that super chat.
Yasna's friend was fine with murder for the greater good. So am I. So that's fine.
But yeah, no, that is a good point. Like, spren, not all spren are gonna be like morally pure and righteous. Like, that's not like a
James Ross, thank you for that super chat. Next drinks on me nerdy, hopefully a strong violet. Ooh, I will be having a whiskey tonight. It's going to be brown, and it's going to be delicious. Judah Canizares, thank you for that super chat. I'm genuinely surprised Amaram never attracted a lie spren cryptic with how much he is constantly hiding.
Yeah, this whole, like, manufacturing his personality and like, the way that people perceive him.
Yeah.
And also hiding that he had his shards for so long.
Yeah.
Like, he's not new to this, that's for sure.
And Nicholas Cardillo, Delaar asks him to wait until he Anno unsit it, but since Amaran refused to wait and wear the cape, so Dalinar was forced to make it public earlier.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Dalinar asked him to wait until he announced it, but since Amaran refused to wait and wore the cape, Dalinar was forced to make it public earlier. Yeah, I figured that one out, Nicholas Cardillo. Well, I got there in the end.
I think that's a spoiler because we don't know that Amaran refused to wait.
Yeah, that was in the chapter.
Was it?
Yeah. No, that was in the chapter where Dalinar was like, he wanted to wear the cape, and yeah.
Oh, I literally thought that was like the plan was to announce it here. Like Dalinar would be in charge at that
This is why I'm confused by how you feel about it. It's because I was like, it does not matter.
Wait, so Amaram puts the cape on and starts running around, going to the zoo and being like, guys, I'm Knights Radiant. Like, that doesn't make any sense. This has to be a political stunt.
Sure, I'm just saying that's what's in the book.
You
can assume whatever makes you like this part more.
No, here's the thing. It's all premeditated.
It isn't in the book, but
no, it just has to be. That's the goofiest thing.
Why do you think I have a problem with it?
No, you have a problem with Dalinar.
I have a problem with how it all plays out.
Amaram being like, I'm a child who put on a superhero cape. Guys, I'm Batman. Like, no, it was a political stunt. It was a political stunt.
Sure. All right, chapter 56, White Spine, Uncaged. Not about the White Spine in the previous chapter getting uncaged.
Nope.
We all got duped by that one, right?
Or just us? Maybe.
Yeah, fuck. So this one starts with 23 cohorts followed behind that came from the contributions of the king of Makabakam, which implies that Makibaki people are consistent going back to this time. So they might have information about this shit. If the king of Makabakam has been a consistent line, they might have more information about the Knights Radiant that we need to. So we need to go fly up that mountain and find out.
Yeah, maybe.
Because Makabakam is the Horn Eaters, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
Makibaki is Horn Eater people. No. Who are the Makibaki?
They're the Makibaki.
Fuck. No, we've met Makibaki people, haven't we?
I don't.
Sigzil's people are Makibaki.
Oh.
Okay. Unkalaki. Oh, yep.
You know what? I see where you got that one confused. That is fair. You know what?
Dyslexia.
That
dyslexia.
Is absolutely fair.
Nerdy's got dyslexia. Dyslexia.
No, that one I completely understand.
Nerdy's got dyslexia.
Okay, well.
Dyslexia. All right. Well, okay. Kaladin and Sigzil start off this chapter having a conversation at the dueling arena, and everyone from the Colin house is there. There's a lot of guards, and they're basically just practicing shit. He walks over to Moash and is like, "Hey, brother, I love you, but since you want to kill the king that we're guarding, I need you to not do that. So go play sheriff out in the wild, wild west."
Pretty much, yeah.
Adolin
patrol duty
is there talking to his sword. He's having a hard time coming up with what he wants to say to it, but he gets a beautiful little glyph word painted by Shallan, which is very sweet of her.
Yeah.
And he did, in fact, eat chicken that day, so things are going to go okay.
Great, yeah. So is it actually chicken then, or could it be like turkey or duck or parrot? Like
they're all chicken.
Okay.
Everything is chicken.
Great.
I don't know the difference.
But like
it could be anything. It could not. They could have birds that we don't have.
True.
It's chicken.
Could be rooster.
That's just chicken. I hate to break it to you. It's just chicken.
That was the joke.
Yep, sure it was. I never know with you. I don't know what you know.
Nobody does.
So then,
I'm like Adolin. I pretend to be dumber than I am.
Maybe. Adolin goes out into the practice field. Into the dueling ground. And out walks Relis with his single other combatant. Followed by one more single combatant.
Yeah.
And then a fourth single combatant.
Yeah.
It's a 4v1.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is where I just want to, before we get into how cool this is, I do want to get into my one problem with this fight.
Okay.
And it's that I really don't like, in any narrative storytelling, when you set up unfair odds, and then after that are like, but like mid-fight, he's already fighting, and then people start to be like, well, actually, the rules are that 2 more people can get down there and fight with him. And I just, if that's going to be a rule, you have to establish it before the fight starts. But anytime you establish that more people can join the fight after the fight has already started, I personally don't like that. Right? Okay. I just think it's weak writing. I think that the part of this chapter that doesn't work for me is that part.
Okay,
when
that's fair.
Dalinar all of a sudden is like, well, the rules actually state, and I'm like, I don't know the fucking rules.
Yeah.
So introducing it mid-fight to me feels cheap.
Yeah, okay.
And that's what felt cheap about this chapter to me.
Okay.
And that's it. It just should have been mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And it just kind of killed some of the momentum for me, because I'm like, wait, why the fuck? Why are we finding this out now?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that.
Like, introduce it in a random other fight that's not important, that Adolin takes part in, where, like, there was a 3v1...
Or him practicing on the battlefield, right? Like,
Yeah, just put it in any other context.
Mm-hmm.
But to introduce it here just kind of felt like Brandon Sanderson wanted the shock of the 4v1, but didn't want to commit to it. And it just wasn't my favorite.
Yeah. No, I get that.
I wasn't a fan of that. I'm not gonna lie. But That out of the way. Everything else about this fucking rocks, okay?
Oh my god.
Adolin fucking crushing it. Renarin walking out without shard plate. And just like... fucking Joaquin Phoenix being one of the bad guys, even though he's Adolin's friend, was fucking great. You know? I can't wait to see him in the Joker 2.
Oh my god.
So like everything else about this chapter is awesome. The explanation of how Adolin is fighting, Xyle's interruptions being like you're not cornered, and Adolin understanding what that means, that he needs to be aggressive, and like the way the scene plays out.
I think Xyle is a Spren. Yeah, jack him off. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix. Really great in Gladiator. Which is kind of like the scene in a way, right? Except that he's the Sadeas role. So it's crazy that as he got older, he became a younger warrior.
Mm-hmm. Adolin also doesn't have his lucky necklace.
Adolin doesn't have his lucky necklace.
So...
Which, like...
He got fucked.
Okay, but. Was it stolen by an evil Spren?
Evil Spren? Oh, no, I just assumed it was Jackamoff, because he knows Adolin's rituals.
See, my assumption...
Like, it was like psychological warfare.
My assumption was evil Spren.
Huh. Okay.
So, anyway, the leader of the bad guys, Blue, we're going to get to it. We're not there yet.
Blue, thank you for the super chat.
Stop trying to skip us ahead in book club. We're going to get to it. We're not there yet. Shit happens first.
Just a couple things.
The fight turns... and Adolin is ready to give up. He's like, look, this is dumb. I don't want to get crippled. This is not worth it.
Yeah, he does his best, and he holds his own for a few minutes, and, like, that in of itself is very impressive, especially against the literal dueling champion of Alethkar. But he's like, yeah, you know what? I fucked up. I'm just going to lose all my shards. I don't want to die. But they won't let him signal to end the duel. And
they basically threaten that if he ends the duel early, they are going to have an accident and Renarin will die.
Yeah.
And so in this way, Renarin kind of makes things worse, but also better because they do actually end up winning the shards in the end. But in the middle of it, you're like, Renarin, God damn it, if you just stayed in the fucking tunnel, he would have given up, you would have lost your shards, but you'd all be alive.
I still don't think they would have let him give up, right? Because in this moment, they had him beat.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things where I don't think Renarin helped in any way.
There's a limit on your ability to stop him, though, with Renarin not in there.
Yeah.
Adolin would have rolled away eventually, right? So then the threat happens.
But wait, no, but Renarin showing up gives Adolin the, like, burst of energy to break free of the, like, barrage, so... Yeah. I don't know. It's impossible to know.
They've also gotten to the ruler person lady.
Yeah, she's very clearly...
Who has a great... Like, Dalinar's like, end this, and she's like, I am a high prince here. Which felt a little hoity. Like, that felt dangerous.
Oh, yeah. I was like, oh, this is bad.
Framing it in that way, I was like, girl, like, I think you can go to jail for that. You gotta be careful. And so, Dalinar starts pleading with the crowd to jump down and fight. Mm-hmm. Even though none of them have their... armor on, so I don't know. In the middle of this, I was
nobody's gonna jump in there.
Dalinar, what do you think they're gonna fucking do?
I mean, like, Amaram could summon his blade, but yeah, he's not in plate, like...
Yeah, and Elhokar was like, no, I'm not losing my shit here. And I did appreciate, this is the only Dalinar POV we really get up here. And I appreciated Dalinar respecting Elhokar's decision on a pragmatic level and not getting upset emotionally with him in that moment.
For sure, yeah. Strength of character.
And so Dalinar, as Adolin is fighting 3v1 and doing okay, but not great. Mm-hmm. He's taking some wounds. His sharp plate is starting to fizzle with light and energy. Kaladin steps forward and he puts his hand on Dalinar. He just goes, hey, buddy. Honor is dead, but I'll see what I can do. Jumps in. Fucking what?
I know.
It's the coolest fucking moment.
It really is. It is. I am seriously considering that tattoo.
It's so good.
Although I want to know what it would look like as a glyph. Because I feel like that would also look really cool.
As a glyph?
Yeah.
What do you mean as a glyph?
Well, because that's women's script. And so if it's a glyph, if it's one of the, like, overlapping, like, glyphs, like, it would look really cool. Maybe. But I just don't know what that would look like.
I don't think that the glyphs can convey something that complicated. Otherwise, that would be reading. Yeah,
maybe. Judah, thank you for that super chat. Honor's dead, but I'll see what I can do. And For My Boon is one of the best juxtaposition in a book that literally everyone cheers and cringes at.
Yeah.
It is such a roller coaster. Like, literally the high of that and the crazy fucking loop-de-loops of the fight and then the crash at the end where you're like, yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, so Kaladin says the hardest line in all of fiction. If you want to watch me just scream at it as it happens, you can. That's in the audiobook reaction. If you got a gifted membership, congratulations. You can go watch that.
Yeah, go watch it for funsies.
The end of this chapter fucking rocks. It's really good. Yeah, it's sick. Sick as fuck.
I feel so bad for Renarin.
Yeah. I don't know what to do with him. Like, what do you tell the kid?
Unless he just lives in his plate,
Yeah, and maybe that's what ends up happening, right? Like,
or.
Oh my God, Brandon Sanderson was deeply inspired by Fullmetal Alchemist, and he just like starts to be in his plate 100% of the time.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I wonder if like maybe Renarin has been like misdiagnosed, and like.
What do you mean?
Maybe there's like a cure for his seizures.
I would hate that.
All right.
Yeah, I Arzu, thank you for gifting 10 membos.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Arzu.
that. That's 10 people who can go watch the audiobook reaction.
Yeah, hell yeah.
No, I would be.
I think it undercuts his like struggles as a character for sure.
Mm-hmm. I just think it makes him less interesting. Yeah. I think Renarin is who he is, and I would much rather watch him figure out how to overcome that and be himself with his condition.
Yeah.
Than
a magical cure. No, I get you. And in a way, like, the plate is kind of a temporary magical cure when he's got it on. So he already has, like, Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the, like, well, actually, we found a way to, yeah. I hear you.
Yeah.
No, I said it, and then I was like, meh.
So then we get to chapter 57, To Kill the Wind. Shallan is wondering why she's not able to, why Adolin isn't quitting. And so she's like, Pattern, I need you to go fuck with the guy who's fighting Renarin. And so throughout the fight, Adolin looks over to see what's going on, and this guy in orange sharp plate is just stabbing the ground.
Well, because, like, we get to hear Pattern for, like, a second, and Pattern's just screaming, right?
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine, like, just being, like, fighting, and just, like, I want that scene. More than anything, like, yeah, the fight's cool, but, like, that part of it, like, I love Pattern. You know what it is? I love Pattern.
Oh, I love Pattern so much.
Yeah.
Pattern is my favorite spren. 100%.
Yeah.
Pattern rocks.
Yeah.
Okay?
I love him.
Pattern look great. And I want my own lice friend. I want a little guy just following me around being like,
cryptic.
Lies. But I want him to have the little voice. And just, he's like, he like moans like a gooner. Like, he's such a weird little guy and I love him.
I know, I love it so much. Johnny Coleman, thank you for that. Popcorn.
Ooh, popcorn.
Delicious.
No, this was great. And so we don't spend a lot of time on it. And I think that Brandon Sanderson uses just enough comedy to not undercut this chapter. Mm-hmm. But this little hint of it is this LaCroix of comedy with Pattern here is perfect.
Well, and I love that, like, because Pattern has to get involved, Syl is like, oh, there's another spren here. Kaladin, you might not be alone. And Kaladin's like, God, I fucking hope it's not Adolin. But even if it was, I think I could live with that, you know? Like...
Yeah. So we get back into the fight, and it's hard to, like... It's hard... I don't want to go beat by beat, but I think that we have to get to the coolest moments. The first one being Kaladin runs over, and Adolin immediately goes back-to-back with him.
Yeah.
Like, that's a level of trust that you can't fake.
Yeah.
I love that little bit of, like, they cannot get along, but in battle, they do trust each other.
Yeah.
The moment of Kaladin stabbing Levitt with the spear And kind of like really that being the real first turning point where people realize that he's a danger in this, even without Shardplate, is really great.
Well, and Elit's so stupid. Like, he should not be there.
And we get arguably like the coolest fight move ever, which is Kaladin jumps into the air and then does a drop kick. But
with like 6 lashes.
Like in the drop kick cut time scene, he pressed X the most number of times. He got that bar all the way to full. And so he lashes himself over and 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 over again to the same spot. So that gravity is multiplied by like 1 billion. And then he crashes so hard that he cracks Shardplate with his feet. Now, he also
broke his legs.
Every bone below his knees. But this is so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. Well, and it goes back to what I thought was like one of the most incredible strengths from Mistborn is the like using the magic systems in such like cool creative ways, right? Which I think is like one of Sanderson's strengths.
Yeah.
And this moment was so like it was like I don't know why, but it felt like it was like what I was waiting for, you know? Because there hasn't been a ton of like creativity really because our characters mostly are still learning how to use their abilities. They're figuring it out, which is like totally valid. And then this moment of
except
like
with Szeth. I think that Szeth is getting to like shine in Sanderson's writing style.
Yeah, but even like Szeth, because he's doing things that he doesn't really want to be doing, like he doesn't have that.
I just mean in the creativity of the combat descriptions.
True, yeah.
Especially the first Gavilar, like that first Gavilar fight in book 1 is
unreal.
No,
that's true. But
no, I hear what you're saying. Like it's all pretty basic combat stuff.
And then having Kaladin use this was fucking unreal.
Oh, it was great. I loved it so much. Yeah. The next amazing moment here, Kaladin. So the guy, one guy leaves. The fighter fighting Renarin gets beat. And so he's out of the competition.
Yeah.
And so Kaladin goes over and threatens him with violence to give him his helmet. And I'm like, oh, because right before this, Sanderson writes that Adolin's helmet is cracked and it's open and now you can see Adolin's face.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, Kaladin is going to replace his helmet. He's going to start stealing shard pieces from other players so that Adolin stays sharded up for this.
Yeah.
But that's not what happens. What happens, Clarice?
Instead, he puts the helmet on his arm because it will just fasten itself to you somehow for magic reasons.
He gets a metal punching glove.
Pretty much, yeah. Basically like a fucking like brass knuckle shield combo thing going on here.
This moment, I was like, wait, did Brandon Sanderson really write this before Elden Ring came out? Because in Elden Ring, there's the 2 like ball hand weapon.
Oh. Okay.
That is so sick. If you Charlie Moist Critical did a whole run with them on. They're so fun. And so him just using the helmet as a punching glove was so much better than him just replacing Adolin's Shardplate.
No, it was great. Yeah. No.
But he mostly uses it.
Was hilarious.
As a buckler, which is smart.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta be able to deflect those shard blades somehow. And so if you got one piece, you gotta make the most out of it, right?
Training in buckler combat was one of the weirdest things for me. Because when you think about shields in most combat, your shield is on the side of your hand and you're kind of blocking like this, right?
Yeah.
But the point of the buckler is that because it's so small and the goal is to deflect, it comes off your hand straight.
Yeah.
And like I trained in with the Society of American Fight Directors at their like summer sling, I think they called it. And I did a whole workshop on buckler combat.
Yeah.
And keeping my wrist with like I had it in my left hand, but keeping my like shield hand facing forward was such a
Instead of this, yeah.
and like after hours of work, I understood it and I can get there.
Sure, yeah.
But God, it was so weird to hold the shield with like my hand straight and not tilt into it.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I would love to see more combat. I'd love to see more people play with bucklers in like stage combat for like film. It's such it's such a huge part of combat history.
Yeah.
But we always see kind of like the kite shields and the tower shields and like the that kind of style. And I feel like if I was gonna like give elves a shield, I would give them a buckler because they would want the like wrist dexterity. I don't know.
Yeah, but also the strength because you gotta be able to deflect the blow like away from you.
Well, no, they're shaped, so you don't have to. It's not actually.
You need to control. Like you have to be like, it's coming at this angle. If I want it to go this way, I need it to hit here, or if I want it to go this way, like you have to have that control.
The thing about the buckler is you hold it out in a way where it doesn't really matter how you hold it. The blow actually is not going to hit you once it hits the buckler.
Yeah. So you want to direct it to give yourselves an opening to then attack.
You don't have to work that hard. That's why it's such a good defensive device. It is actually not that much work, right? It creates the way you hold it with a long rapier.
Yeah.
It actually kind of creates basically your whole body, right, gets pushed down into this space in front of you where it is a low training weapon where you don't actually have to do much to protect yourself with it.
Yeah, but
it's
if I were fighting somebody, I would want to prepare which direction the blade is going to go to then like counterattack.
The rapiers move so fast that to try and think like that is more dangerous than letting the buckler do its job and then counterattacking.
Well, they're fighting with shard blades, not.
Oh, a buckler would be fucking useless in this world. Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
You have to be fighting with particularly stabby weapons. Bucklers are if you're using like a cleaving sword, an axe, a warhammer, bucklers become functionally nothing. They're punching weapons at that point.
Yeah. Which is kind of partially what this becomes.
Anyway, I like bucklers. I think they're very cool.
Thank you for that super chat. Fleshlights confirmed. Shard plates tighten around whatever you put it in. Just add olive oil.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it'd be cold if you're into that. I guess it's metal.
Here's the problem: if you put it around your dick, isn't it just gonna like suction and not move? It would be like a chastity cage more than it would a.
That's true.
Like a fleshlight.
Yeah. Because I don't think you can like slide your shard plate around.
Yeah, I think you're literally. I think that you could like use the helmet as a very oddly shaped chastity cage.
Yeah, true.
Which, like, people love that shit.
That's
Couldn't be me.
You need to find a way to like have like some kind of keyhole. Because if you can just like take it off, like.
Well, no, we've already said people pee in their shard plate, so. Oh my god, you would just have a chamber pot just attached to your cock.
That's true.
And you would have to take it off every time you gotta empty that shit out, but.
Jesus Christ.
I feel like that's just a yeast infection waiting to happen.
I can't imagine that would be a good idea.
Could you take like the toe off of like shard plate boot?
You think that they're like toe like
there's got to be one set of shard plate that's like the toe socks.
The toe, like the shoes, the rubber ones for running, where you have to fit your.
That's why they can climb so well in the shard plate, is because they got the little toesies.
Oh my god, I want that shard plate variation, please.
Okay, absolutely. which Stormlight Archive character do you think would be most comfortable in a chastity cage?
Most comfortable in a chastity cage?
Yeah.
Dalinar? Doesn't give a fuck.
No, Dalinar fucks.
Well, now he does that Navani's back.
Yeah,
but
no,
like,
Dalinar
for most
fucks.
of his life.
No, there's no way. Dalinar would never. Aelin would never. Renarin, maybe? Renarin could be like a little sissy cuck boy.
I don't know.
It's possible.
I don't know.
Yeah, Sabarial. Oh, no, it's Sabarial. That is the right answer, Serge.
I don't think she's a shard
Sabarial would fucking... Sadius would never. Are you kidding me? No, Sabarial would fucking love it.
Sadius is too insecure.
Have Polinarial, have her just like pegging the shit out of him. Polena? Yeah.
Somewhere.
Polena pegging the shit out of Sabarial with a chassis cage on, definitely a possibility.
Yeah, definitely not a possibility,
Yeah. Paloma, that's what it
is.
is.
Thank you.
I should know that. I dated a Paloma.
Judah, thank you for that super chat. Do you think shard plate chafes? I hope not.
You know what? I think after a while it would. Right? Like, I think, like, you could go a day, but if you tried to sleep in it, I think you'd wake up pretty rubbed raw.
If you slept in it, that would suck. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. That would be...
See, Renarin's not the right answer for the chastity cage question, because he already feels diminished by society.
Yeah.
It would be he would find it demeaning.
Yeah.
Whereas Sabarial would enjoy it and, like, actually think that it was fun.
Yeah.
To have that sort of, like, power play happening. It's always powerful men who aren't assholes, who are into that sort of shit. You know what I mean? And Sabarial is the right call.
Sabarial is a fake asshole. Like, he pretends to be a dick, but he's, like, it doesn't seem like he really is.
Yeah, why does this show get demonetized on YouTube so often?
No idea.
Anyway, they win the fight. It's really good. They beat the shit out of him. And Adolin's suit blocks up. He can't even move, but he grapples locked up. So he basically just, like, is a robot that turns off while holding someone down. It's happened in every movie ever.
It's great.
And, there's a great moment where where Kaladin realizes that having the shard plate on his wrist has drained his stormlight, and so he almost dies.
Like, real fast, yeah.
And, Jackamoff gets grappled, and they win the fight.
Yeah.
Relis flees after hearing the screams and literally runs out of the dueling arena.
Yeah, right. After he pattern screams.
We can't skip over the best part. Kaladin, not in shard plate, performs the last clap.
Yeah.
And while he's doing the last clap, he hears violent screams.
Yeah.
Of Syl, just in terrible pain, which
I was like worried that Syl died. That the shard blade.
Me.
I was a little bit worried, but it was definitely pattern trying to create distractions.
What?
That's what the screaming is, remember?
Not in the last clap.
We talked about that earlier. That pattern is screaming and making distractions. That's what the scream is.
Oh, I thought that was I thought that was what the other guy was hearing. I thought this was a feedback from the blade because of his connection to Syl.
Feedback?
Yeah, I thought it was like a literal feedback happening in his mind because of his connection with Syl in the last clap moment.
But Relis hears the scream and then runs away.
Yeah, because he's the person holding the other end of the shard blade. I thought it was like his connection to Syl versus the shard blade causing them to end up in this echo chamber of awful. You think Pattern just yelled at the right time? I don't think it's that. I think it's Syl's bond interacting with the shard blades in this moment.
Yeah, maybe.
I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if Kaladin were to pick up the shard blade later on when it's offered to him, he would have this exact moment again. I do believe that.
All right.
I
thought you just didn't like them, not that they murdered her.
No, it's deeper than that, babe.
All right.
It is much deeper than that.
He says it sounds like Syl, and so I thought that Pattern also being a Spren would be pretty obvious.
No, it's All
right.
It's a deeper. There's something metaphysical going on here.
All right.
So Elhokar announces how impressed he is by Adolin and offers him the boon that this was the whole plan, was to get this boon.
Yeah.
And Adolin demands the right to duel Sadeas. And Kaladin is like, I too would like a boon, thank you, king. And I shall duel Amaram because he's a bad murder boy.
Yeah.
And Elhokar is like, arrest that man.
Pretty
and
much.
Kaladin's like, yeah, arrest Amaram. And he's like, wait, no, they're walking towards me. Did I fuck up?
Yes.
Chapter 58,
yes.
Never Again. Kaladin fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He
Kaladin
didn't think that through all the way.
fucked up, and he cannot,
Kaladin's
he cannot
in chains.
admit his faults to himself.
And Elhokar wants to have him beheaded. Dalinar manages to talk him down to indeterminate prison sentence.
Yeah. Literally, Syl, warns Kaladin, this whole Amaram thing is gonna fuck you over. And he's like, nah, I'm too good for that. And, just kidding. Turns out Kaladin, not above everybody else.
Yeah.
Except when he's flying, maybe. That is pretty useful.
So we get a little bit of a Sadeas POV where he gets back to his camp and tells his wife, Ayalai, to get some incriminating information about Dalinar and then kill him. And then Kaladin is led to prison. And that is the end. Oh, he ends part 3 by saying, I will never trust Light Eyes again. He's the boy who cries wolf. Because he keeps fucking saying that.
Yeah, but he's also like, oh my god, this is totally everyone else's fault and not mine.
Yeah.
I'm like, Kaladin. God damn it. And
I'm on Kaladin's side.
Unfortunately, his time in prison does not rise him up. No, he definitely does not spend any of it self-reflecting on his actions, which is it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because
Dreamshake Jr. says, lol, as a black person growing up in the South, I'd say I would not think rationally if I saw the person that sold me into slavery. Yep.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's been weeks now, like...
That is the most insane thing you've ever said.
What do you mean?
Yeah, but it's been weeks now?
Yeah, like...
What the fuck does that... Babe.
Dalinar was like...
Babe, you can't say that.
What? Dalinar's like, hey, I'm gonna look into it. Like, you know, like, there's been a whole back and forth. If Kaladin... Look, when Amram showed up and Kaladin was, like, pissed, I imagined that Kaladin
Can we cut this out of the podcast?
Walk up and fucking murder Amram. But now it's like... Now he's, like, helped Adolin, like, win a duel, and he can't, like, he can't have any kind of, like, patience.
I know, babe. I'm gonna be real honest with you. When someone makes a comment about, like, seeing the person who sold them into slavery, I would never respond with, yeah, but it's been weeks.
I just mean, like, weeks of, like, him doing nothing. So, Kaladin...
Because this is the first time he's had an opportunity to,
like... What? Like...
To challenge Amram in a legal setting.
Well, but it wasn't that.
Well, yeah, only because of racism.
Sure, yeah. I just, like, this moment to me doesn't feel that much different than the past couple weeks of him being like, Amram's a shitty dude. Dalinar, you gotta listen to me. He did this, like, when he shows up. Like, I'm assuming it's just, like, the battle adrenaline. But, like... Amram is still just as bad as he is now.
Yeah. And I think that this is I still think that Kaladin is behaving rationally towards the man who sold him into slavery. I think that challenging that man is a fine thing to do, personally, but...
Well, unfortunately, it brings up the point that you did that, like... For the fight,
yeah,
you were like, I wish these rules had been introduced beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, I wish that that we as the audience had been told what the rules are in society about, like, challenging, like, light eyes versus dark eyes.
Yeah, we find them out as they're going, which is why I don't think it's well done.
Yeah, because, like...
I think that you have to foreshadow this, and by doing it in the moment, it is weak to me.
Well, and I don't remember any point in the series where it says that, like... Dark Eyes can't, like, challenge a Light Eyes in terms of, like, the, like, specific laws or anything like that. Like, this seems like...
They don't establish any of this stuff. It just comes up as it comes up, yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't know why Kaladin thought this moment would really be any different.
Because this is his only chance. The boons from the king are supposed to be the thing that overcomes racism, right?
And so, okay, so then is Kaladin just not aware that Dark Eyes are not allowed to challenge Light Eyes? Or is he also finding this out in the time that we are finding this out?
He's definitely finding it out with us.
Okay, I guess it's just interesting that he's grown up in this society and, like, he didn't know that.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't think that this works very well. I agree with you. I think the rules that are brought up after they're relevant I think that is not strong writing in these two chapters. I think everything else about these two chapters really works.
Yeah.
I just don't think that I think that the, like, lack of foreshadowing on the rules of the fight aren't great. I agree with that.
Yeah, it just was one of those things that is like, I don't really know what Kaladin was thinking in this moment, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. But at the same time, like, but you can understand why he does it, though, right?
Well, I know he wants Amram dead.
Okay.
That's what I mean. Us not knowing if Kaladin knows these rules or not before this happens is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, Kaladin not knowing consequences of his actions because he has no idea how they play out or how the rules. Like, side carry. He comes up with a good idea.
Yeah.
That then backfires because he doesn't understand, like, how the battlefield works. Whereas this is, like, he's grown up in this society his whole life.
I agree with that. I just think that you being like, oh, it's been weeks since he was sold into slavery is not a great response to the emotional conversation of that, right?
Well, because, like, if Kaladin understands the thing that he is asking, which he doesn't seem to, then it doesn't feel like the timeline, then it feels like the timeline matters.
All right. We're into the interludes. Interlude 9 is Lift. Lift is a little girl, which you find out after Brandon Sanderson makes a choking on the cock sound joke in the chapter. And I'm not going to lie. I went with the joke because it's a funny joke. And then we found out that the girl is 13. And I'm like, Brandy Sandy.
That was a trap. That was bait.
It was bait.
That was bait for us.
It was bait in a way that I was kind of like, Brandy, what are we doing here, man?
Yeah, was that intentional?
It feels intentional, but it's super weird that she's 13.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I definitely felt weird about it.
She's not 10.
She's 10 plus
Carrion.
3.
I'm not playing into
She's
a child's
3 times.
fancies.
Yeah, that was rough.
Ember Eyes is also right. There's way too much use of the word slick in this chapter for me to be comfortable. But here's the thing.
God, I know.
I don't think that Brandon... And this is the problem with prudes writing books. They don't know enough.
Brandon was like, yeah, slick. Perfectly reasonable word to use here.
Like, I genuinely think that Brandon Sanderson does not know that slick is slang for, like, what makes girls wet, right?
Yeah, maybe he doesn't.
I don't think that he understands that.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the problem with people who aren't, like, tuned into culture, writing things that become big in culture.
Yeah.
It is you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't, like, it just, yeah. Yeah. The cock joke, I think, is a genuine joke. The slick thing is just unfortunate.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Also, Sandra's right. I'm bad at math. You're right. She's 12.
Yeah, no, that's right.
No,
that's
that
right.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, she's 13 because I'm bad at math. Yeah, but you people, Brandon Sanderson saying that is more of a, like, what do you call it? Is more of a comment on himself than on the rest of us. The rest of us are perfectly normal.
No, it's his fault for not being a pervert.
Beings.
It's Brandy's fault for not being online.
I'm not even that much of a pervert, and I'm still like slick. Like, you know what
I
mean?
know.
You know what I mean?
You don't know most words.
Exactly. And so it's very impressive. I don't know, it's just weird. It's a interesting choice.
Yeah. So Slick Little Lift is a young Alvida.
She does think the palace is boobs. That is correct. Yeah.
I'm not even that much of a pervert. I really am. So I shouldn't slick my hair back. You should. You can slick your hair back. You just have to understand that if you're saying that, like, becoming slick means something else.
If I'm slick.
Judah Kedazars, thank you for that super chat. Lift has leash child energy, and I love it. 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
If you're saying that, like, the girl gets slick, it just is...
It's an interesting choice.
It's not important. It's not important. Lift is a child who I don't want to talk too much about this chapter here because apparently this is the first chapter of Edge Dancer, and so I think that we're going to do a whole week on Lift.
Oh,
so basically we meet this girl. She's in the Bronze Palace. She's breaking in. She's doing some shit. And she's with these people. We find out she visited the old magic through the same people that Dalinar went to, which means that maybe Dalinar can turn bread into Stormlight. I don't know.
Oh.
But
that would be nice.
He doesn't have his friends, so maybe he can't.
We also were thinking that the old magic person, the like mother person, is, cultivation.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see if we're right about that.
So they break in while the Prime Akka 6 is being chosen by the Viziriat, which is a process of submitting paperwork that gets approved. You basically have to write a college essay in this society to become the leader. And being the leader mostly means that people watch you as you sleep. And so Amaranth would be great at this job.
I was picturing like full on Legally Blonde with this scenario of, everyone else writes their college essay and Elle Woods flies her whole crew of Delta News in.
You mean the musical Legally Blonde?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When I'm talking
if
about
you've never
Legally
seen the
Blonde,
musical, you'll be very confused by this.
Yeah, so basically...
They all flew there on JetBlue. Thank you.
Yes, this is what Elle Woods inspires. Everyone admires her, and Harvard should too.
This is not a personal essay.
No, an essay's so boring and so much does not fit. So we're appearing live right here, making sure you must admit that Elle Woods should be the chosen few. Harvard, what you want is right in front of what you want. What you want.
It's clear.
What you want
is right in front of you. I hate you so much.
No,
I can't believe you did as much of that song.
This is what this is.
I know, 100%. Okay, so basically, Lift is this boy with him. His name's Gox. It's spelled Gawx because Brandon Sanderson hates me.
Fair.
They're supposed to watch the window, but she's like, I'm not gonna fucking do that. I'm Lift. I do whatever the fuck I want. You can come if you want. Don't if you don't. I don't give a shit.
I literally don't care about you.
Her whole thing is that because she saw the old magic, she can digest food into Stormlight for her investiture, which is making shit grow. And so she has a little Wordle.
Windle?
I know, but I keep calling him the Wordle, and I like that she does the daily Wordle.
That's fair.
Windle is her spren, who's like a little series of vines that follows her around that she can physically touch because she touched the old magic. This is a whole thing. This is a whole other fucking thing.
Yeah.
Does this have anything to do with the book?
Nope.
Fucking nope. They go on this adventure through the manor. Gox gets stabbed because Crescent Face guy shows up.
That guy is tied to the main story, maybe somehow.
Crescent Face guy has a little worm thing that absorbs the stormlight out of somebody. That's crazy.
Yeah, I was thinking it's the weird dragonfly thing that Rihanna gets in the islands when she falls.
Sure.
Forget her name.
Rishi?
No, Risen. That's the one. Thank you. Yeah, Risen gets a little dragonfly buddy.
Okay.
Right? That's supposed to be like super rare, really cool.
Yeah.
And that's what I pictured.
Yeah. So
Risen will be able to take away people's storm light.
Sure.
Yeah.
So then Lift is captured by Crescent Face guy. He's emotionless. He is really good at filing paperwork and believes in the law. He believes in the letter of the law, not the spirit of it.
He is Javert.
Yeah.
But he's also weird in a way that, like, Windle doesn't like him. He's like, oh, there is something, like, seriously wrong with that man.
More importantly, Windle, the short straw spread.
Thank you, Linus.
He wanted an old, wise lady, and he got the most annoying character in the books yet. In a charming way. Yeah. She's charmingly annoying.
He's like, oh my god, I have to babysit. This is not what I signed up for.
Yeah. Lift is the kind of child that I think I could tolerate being around, and I hate children. So... Oh,
see, Lift reminds me of me as a kid.
Correct.
Like Nightmare Child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like I would actually, like... Look, I would never be their parent, right? I do not want to have kids. I don't really want to be around kids. I don't actually want to be around Lift. But if I had to be around a child, I would rather it be a child who has, like, a sarcasm? Personality rather than just being a boring little shit who's just annoying. We get Lift trying to steal bread because her whole thing is she just wants to eat other people's food. So it is Javert and Jean Valjean. Yeah. Oh, did you not get that immediately from the bread? No. Oh my god, yeah. No, this is 1,000% just Les Miserables. Yeah. Brandon Sanderson is a big Victor Hugo fan. Yeah, we're gonna catch up with Lift again in how many years is Jean Valjean in
2
weeks.
prison?
3 weeks.
Huh?
We're gonna catch up with her in literally 3 weeks.
When
we read Edge Dancer in 3 weeks.
Right, we're reading that, yeah.
It's 19 years?
That's it.
Right?
Of those 19 years a slave of the law. Yeah, that's it.
2, 4, 6, 2. That's very funny. It's Cherries. Lift has the same appetite Luffy has? Yes. Yeah. Sure. Except she does not expand like a balloon when she eats too much because she is malnourished. Because her awesomeness... Very low body fat. Because she's not breathing in Stormlight and she's just using it from her fat stores, she's malnourished and Windle is worried about her. So she has magic anorexia, which I really hope we don't get too much into in these books. Giving this little orphan girl magic anorexia is a super weird path we could go down.
It's not quite that.
It is literally that.
No, anorexia is like, it is not the ability to like metabolize quickly.
No. I'm saying like the consequences of her magic anorexia being that like she like if this little girl like magics herself to death at 13, this book is gonna get really fucking dark.
So you mean if Liv develops body dysmorphia and then abuses her power to like make herself skinnier?
Yes.
Yeah. No, that would be a weird plot line. I agree.
Or if she just starves herself to death by using magic at 13, I will be like, Brandon, what the fuck are we doing?
Well,
once she's an adult, it's fine.
It would be an accident.
We'll see. So then Lift manages to
tapeworm.
Steal the half-eaten roll off the ground. She comes back. Gox gets killed. And Lift sneaks out, comes back in, and brings Gox back to life with her magical power.
Cool.
He probably wasn't fully dead, but he was almost dead. Because I don't think that you could actually come back from death in this world. Johnny, come and thank you for that super chat. Popcorn.
Come and thank you.
Judah Kaiseris, thank you for that super chat.
Hell yeah.
Using up body fat for superpowers is something I wish I had. Same.
It'd be pretty awesome.
Oh my god, the amount of Krispy Kreme donuts I would eat.
Stop.
Oof.
That's why I'm trying to put on muscle, is so that I can eat more.
Yeah 100%. And so she brings Gox back to life, and the Crescent Moon guy comes back and he's about to murder her. And then Gox, because he gets brought back to life, gets heralded as the new...
He's the king now.
Prime Akasix.
Yeah, sure.
You might be wondering, why do they need a new Prime Akasix? And the reason is, the last two have been killed in the past week.
By Szeth. Well, yeah, in the span of a week. So, they're like... Yep. You said in the last week, and I think they've been debating for a few weeks.
Oh, I understand.
But, it doesn't really matter.
Bridge 4. Thank you for being a Nerds Radiant.
Back to the Nerds Radiant. So...
This chapter is fun. I really liked it. But Gox becomes a Prime Akasix. He pardons Lift, and then Crescent Face can't attack her because she's not illegal anymore.
Yes. They're like, oh yeah, God sent us a sign. It's this kid. And for some reason, this guy, this Moon Scar guy, really appreciates formality. Oh, because his guy, when he killed Gox, he was like, you didn't have permission to do that.
Yeah.
We didn't have the proper paperwork for that. You're going to go submit yourself to their laws. And I was like, that's...
Yeah.
Fascinating. He's obviously going to be a big bad guy.
I don't care.
Oh.
Yeah, I sure, at some point.
Yeah, in like book 6.
I find this is a little bit distracted writing right now. I think the middle of Words of Radiance is starting to have a similar issue to Way of Kings, and so I'm hoping that this book pulls it together better than Way of Kings did.
I think it's just because the books have interludes.
No, but it's not just the interludes. It's also just like the subplots within the main, like Shallan having like 9 different things that she's up to.
She's like us.
I understand that. I think that on a book level, this epic fantasy is I'm really enjoying it. I think this book is a lot better than the first one.
Yeah.
And even in its distracted moments, I think that it is more coherent than Way of Kings was all the way through. I still am a little worried about this series. Finding a way to tie all this together in a way that is satisfying. Because I don't feel very satisfied by it very often. I think it is very well written and has some of like these incredible moments, right? I think the dropkick is this moment that I'm like, this is better. This is some of the best writing I've ever read.
Yeah.
But books as a whole, I find the Stormlight Archive to feel like it's almost trying too hard to be epic and big and have a lot of stuff. And I don't need it to have all of the stuff. I want it to be a little bit more concise. I want to like move the plot forward, and just introducing more stuff doesn't always do that well. And satisfying all of these plot lines, and maybe it's just that like coming out of Wheel of Time and the way in which I don't think the end of that series satisfied its plot lines well. I worry about this series already being so much bigger than Wheel of Time was in its early books,
and us being disappointed
how do you land this plane, right? And I find it to be a little bit distracted sometimes, and I don't hate it. I think this book is very, 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 very good, and I'm enjoying the shit out of it. But being in the middle of it right now, there's a lot of plot lines going on, and there's a lot of points of view, and there's a lot of political tangents with characters that I actually don't care about. And the plot lines that are with the characters I do care about aren't really going anywhere. Like, Kaladin is in this endless cycle of, I don't trust Light Eyes. Okay, Dalinar's a good guy, but, oh, no, I don't trust Light Eyes again, but Dalinar's a good guy. And I'm like, I fucking get it. I understand what we're trying to do, but, like, we can tie Kaladin to something other than whether or not he trusts Dalinar in this chapter.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You say that the book is distracted, but also that it feels very small. So I don't really know. Like, I'm a little bit confused.
We'll get to what I mean by the world feeling small in chapter 62.
I just don't know how both of those things can be true.
Because there's a lot of things going on that are all tied to, like, 10 people.
Because they're the most important people in this world.
No, but it is deeper than that. And we'll get to it when we get to chapter 62. But for now, we're on interlude 10, Szeth. Szeth is in Urithiru, which is on top of a mountain. Mm-hmm. And so Shallan is nowhere fucking near it. And we'll get there fucking eventually, I guess. I don't know. You can only get there by flying.
Or an oath gate, which, good luck getting one of those.
Which I'm assuming those are, I mean, I guess maybe they're still around. And yeah, he's just up there feeling guilty. And so he's going to go find answers. Mm-hmm. Or he's going to go kill somebody.
Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah. Chapter interlude 11. New rhythms. Fuck. This is so sad. So Eshonai is basically
she is basically
it's in a basement at the end of season 3. James Ross, fuck you.
Oh my god, fuck all the way off. Yeah, Eshonai is being controlled by Big Bad Evil God. Her sister also being controlled by Big Bad Evil God. They have new rhythms like spite and, all these negative emotions, which I feel like should be a clue in. When they try to tune to peace, Eshonai hears screaming.
Yeah.
Because it's her real self, I think, trying to get out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Eshonai is like, you know what? It's actually time to kill everyone who doesn't listen to me and I can't trust. Anyone who wants storm form, you're welcome. Anyone who doesn't want it, totally fine. Actually,
we're just going to murder you.
You're going to go stand over here so that I know exactly who you are, and nothing's going to happen to you, I promise. Don't even worry about it. Obviously, that doesn't go well. Eshonai is like, yeah, no, kill them all. But they escape because her general person starts with Thude. Thude gets it. Thude is clued in there and is like, something is not right down at the crick. And they, sorry, that was a joke for you.
The funniest part about it, though, is that that's not even like a recent season of NADPOD.
No.
That we're just so behind on NADPOD that we're watching NADPOD from like 7 years ago.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
You're just referencing a podcast from almost a decade ago.
Yeah.
Eshonai get outs her entire race. Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that super chat. Yeah, it's bad. But anyways, good thing Thude and his 1,000 buddies escape. Because hopefully they can go warn the Alethi what the fuck is about to happen. Anyways, Venli is probably the biggest villain. She's the worst person. She's like, oh, you know what? I know exactly what this is going to do. My sister is going to go take this friend. She's going to get corrupted, and then I'm going to get corrupted, and we're all just going to be
I don't think Venli knew about
people.
The corruption.
Oh, she knew it wasn't She knew it wasn't the Storm's friend. She knew what it was. Eshonai asks her, says, you knew this. And Venli's like, yeah.
Yeah, but Venli's also been taken over by Odium at this point, so I don't know.
No, she is taken over by Odium after Eshonai is, but she gives it to Eshonai knowing full well it's not a storm spren, that it is a very bad spren, and that a bad thing is going to happen. She did it on purpose. She may not have known how bad the fentanyl was, but she still gave her drugs with fentanyl in them. You know what I mean? Like, knowingly.
Okay.
Venli sucks.
So I feel bad for everyone but Venli then.
Yeah. I feel bad for everyone but Venli. Venli did this. This is all her fault.
This is where this book made me really depressed. And Claris doesn't find this book depressing, which I find very interesting. But like,
well, I do now.
This book is really fucking with me. And I think it's really well written.
Oh my god.
But it is really like this book is a downer. And that's fine. It's not a bad thing. That's not a criticism. it just is a downer, man. Like, all of these people fighting for no fucking reason when they don't even want to be because of a magic
It's gonna be bad.
possession
It's gonna be bad.
situation is just like, it sucks. And so, you know, it being so long and such a downer at times, I feel like impacts my enjoyment of the quality of it. Because it is, I think the quality is rather impeccable for the most part, right? Like, I have my complaints here and there, and I don't think it's perfect, but it just is, it's like a heavy sort of a book. If it weren't for book club, I think that there would be points where I put this book down to just go do stuff that isn't as fucking depressing.
Sure.
I don't think I would binge this.
Yeah.
Because it is so long.
Or I would binge it really fast so that it was kind of just like...
But you kind of can't. Like, it's still like it's still, between this and Way of Kings, it's like 2,300 pages.
If I was in high school, I would have read one of these in 3 days.
Yeah.
Like I read all 4 Twilight books in like 2 days. So I feel like it depends on how bingey
Did you just say the Twilight books?
Yeah, oh yeah.
No, but I can read a Twilight book in 2.5 hours. I can't read a Way of Kings in 2.5 hours.
No, I mean the length of them. Like if you put them all side by side, they're still like, they're thick.
Yeah, but it's like larger text and they're what, 400 pages? Like they're not long.
No, they're not 400 pages. They're like a Wheel of Time book almost. Well,
no fucking way!
No, the first one is like probably 500 pages would be my guess. They're hefty.
Twilight word count. 100,000 words. That's nothing.
What do you mean? That is a like quarter of the newest, biggest book that he's written. Okay, well that doesn't help. 3 million words is the whole series.
It's a third of the first Wheel of Time book.
Yeah, okay.
So one Twilight book is a third of a Wheel of Time book.
No, the first Twilight book, which is significantly shorter than the rest of them. So it is about 500 pages. Thank you. That's what I mean. I just mean, like, if you are... It depends on what your definition of binge is. Because if you can read this
Twilight is the same
non-stop,
as Unsold, babe. It's the same word count as that fucking little book we did in 2 weeks.
No, that is not 500 pages. I had to take a month break between books, I feel, yeah. Yeah, like, Judah, like, I totally understand.
Okay, it's a little bit longer than Unsold. But it's not a Wheel of Time book.
40,000 words more, and that is the first book. That's what I mean.
All right.
The last book...
What's the last one? Breaking Dawn, right?
Yeah.
Breaking Dawn, word count.
Yeah, it's like almost 200,000.
It's under 2/3 of the first Wheel of Time.
No.
Yeah, the first Wheel of Time's 300,000, and that's 189,000, which means that it is under...
Where did you get 300,000?
We just Googled it!
Okay, so all 4 Twilight books is 580,000 words.
300,000 words.
I feel like reading that in 2 days is not that normal. You're like making fun of me for being like, yeah, I read it in 2 days. Like,
oh, no, I'm not making fun of you for saying you read it in 2 days.
Yeah, you're like all easy. Like...
100,000 words is... Yeah, that's doable in a day. That's not crazy.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, if you're reading very, very, very quickly, like, and you have the time to read, like, either the first or first 2 books of Stormlight...
But if it took you 2 days to read 100,000 words, then it would take you 5 days to read 500,000 words.
It took me 2 days to read all 4 books. I said the Twilight series.
Oh, I thought you... Okay, no, that makes way more sense. I thought you said that it took you 2 days to read Twilight. No. And I was like, yeah, of course you read Twilight in 2 days. It's not that big a book.
No.
Okay. I didn't hear the saga part of it. And so I was sitting here being like, you're bragging about reading Twilight in 2 days. Like, I'm so confused.
No, I'm just saying the possibility of being able to read the first book or 2 books of this.
Yeah, no. I'm saying that, like, binging this for me would be really hard because it's just, like, especially this book and this book, the first 2 books together, there's not a lot of hope. And
yeah, like Judah said, they had to take months break. Like, I get that.
Downer. It's a really well-written downer, but it's a downer, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh my god, that's so funny. I literally thought you were like, I read Twilight in 2 days, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
No.
Considering what we've read on book club, that is so slow.
No, I used to literally like pick up Aragon and like read it in a day. Like,
well, and that's why I was so confused by what your point was because I was like, how? Yeah. Anyway, yoink. Okay, so part 4. So Eshonai is gonna make everyone into storm form, and basically the plan is that they're gonna wait until Dalinar's army marches onto the high plateaus, and then they're gonna blow them away with a big old high storm.
Because the plan is for them to do it in the Weeping, which there won't be any high storms in, but surprise magic
what
high
the
storm.
Parseni call the.
Oh,
they had a term for it. It was cool.
They did.
Anyway, part 4, the approach. I'm assuming that's of the storm. Kaladin is in prison.
Doesn't like it.
Wit shows up to tell him a story of Fleet, a man who raced the storm across the world and then died in Shin. So, is this a prophecy of what's going to happen to Kaladin? Probably.
Kaladin is going to
Will I like it?
Zeth
Questionable.
in Shinovar, and they die.
The lull, that's what it's called, Yujaku. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm sure this will be really cool on a
People
reread.
asked us to react to this, and so it felt like it was going to be.
I was like,
and then it was just kind of like, okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, all right. Cool story, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, this definitely really cool on a reread.
I think that I'm just not a huge fan of Hoyd, and so like the Hoyd stuff just doesn't really do much for me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, Kaladin telling his own story is an interesting concept, but only if Kaladin like has any kind of understanding what it means.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Blind Fool, welcome back to the Nerds, Radiant, Legends, Fate to Myth, and even Forrest Gump is long forgotten when the fleet that gave it birth comes again. What a crossover. Oh my god, we got Wheel of Time, Forrest Gump, and Stormlight. All right. The Holy Trinity.
But, yeah, I was really hoping that Wit was going to come in with something that would be a little bit more helpful in terms of Kaladin's mental state. He doesn't do that. Yeah,
it's kind of like, oh, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Cool.
He kind of comes in and is like, hey, Kaladin, life's a bitch and then you die. And Kaladin's like, yeah, I'm aware, Wit. Thanks for...
Yeah.
Sigzil has a great point here. Wit's stories are great, and I do love them, but it kind of feels like author self-indulgence about how amazing writing stories is. Yes.
Yeah, almost, like, Wit kind of almost feels like the Brandon Sanderson self-insert.
Oh, 1,000%. He's the Tom Bombadil of this.
Yeah.
And... much like Tom Bombadil, I don't need him.
Yeah.
I am the first person to say Peter Jackson's best change to The Lord of the Rings was cutting Tom Bombadil.
Yeah.
No, actually, his best was having the ghost guys come all the way with Aragorn to Minas Tirith. Just because we didn't need another 45-minute battle at the end of that.
Yeah.
It cleans up that fight it really smartly to just get that movie going a little bit at the end. Because honestly, if we did the whole thing and then there's just another human battle, it would have taken for fucking ever to end that scene.
Yeah, it would have been the same thing again.
But the second best thing Peter Jackson did was cut Tom Bombadil, because as much as I love him in the books,
yeah,
God, that would have been rough in the movies.
It would have been, yeah,
because
lot.
Much like Hoyd, he's a narrative standstill. Because he's too knowledgeable for the plot to move forward around him.
Yeah. And he has to choose to be withdrawn deliberately, and then he just kind of seems like a jackass, right?
Yeah, and so it's Tom and Hoyd are struggle from the same issue of, like, they're just there to be part of the story, but every time they show up, the story has to stand at a standstill because they're there.
Yeah, but he knows what bunnies are, so that's fun.
Yeah.
Work Galore, thank you for that super chat. You guys figured out how Hoyd got perfect pitch. No, and I would like to know.
Magic?
Please.
I don't know.
I would also like perfect pitch. That would be so helpful. So if anyone could tell me how to do that, that'd be great.
My pitch is good enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had a very long career as a musical artist, so like I can't really complain.
I just would love for someone to be like, ah, and I'm like, oh yeah, A7.
Oh, it would have helped me a lot during Jersey Boys.
Right.
Because Nick was our music director, did not like how much I was struggling with those harmonies.
Well, yeah. James,
no, it's my fault. But
back to the
I'll never swing again. I learned that swinging is not a skill set that I am amazing at.
No, it would not be for me either.
James McNarg, Hoyd and his stories could disappear for all Cosmere books, and I would not care at all. Yeah, I agree. They don't really do much for me.
It's fine. Honestly, I think the most interesting one was the one in Warbreaker, but because I don't love that book, I'm kind of like, whatever.
Christian Rapper says, remember Hoyt said that Fleet's soul came back in the end. The story's ending is ambiguous. Yeah, but that's like the fucking
that's like
Eurydice story and being like,
to heaven.
Yeah. Orpheus and Eurydice and then being like, the point of the story is that we're telling the story, and you're like, that's cool.
Sure.
Just sing those pretty songs to me again, Reeve Carney.
Yeah.
Wait for me, I'm coming. Wait, I'm
Yeah, I don't know.
coming
It was
with you.
fine.
It was fine. Yeah.
Like I said, probably really fucking cool on a reread.
I just would enjoy it more if Whit was a little bit more helpful.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It feels like he doesn't care. I don't get this vibe that Whit cares
He's
about
like,
anything.
I'm God and I can't interfere.
Yeah.
And that just is like, well, then get the fuck out of here then.
Chapter 60, they all walks. God, show me your way, 'cause the devil's trying to bring me down. They all walks with me, with me, with me, with me, with me.
Is that Hamilton? I don't know.
How do you not know that song?
No idea what that is.
Wow.
What's the chorus?
Jesus walks, God, show me the way, 'cause the devil's trying to bring me down.
No idea.
Jesus walks. Wow.
I literally have no idea what that is.
I'm surprised you don't know that one. That was huge when we were in like middle school, high school.
Oh, is it like Usher?
No. Come on. Who's the one rapper that thinks he is Jesus?
Kanye West?
Yep. You nailed it in one.
I don't know any of his songs.
That's
like, I genuinely,
crazy.
If you were like, what are Kanye West's songs? I'd be like,
That's wild.
I've never
that was like,
liked him.
That song was so big for like 2 years. It was it was everywhere. Anyway,
good for him.
This chapter is called Veil Walks.
Okay. I literally was like, I really don't know much about Kanye West, and I would like to know less about him, to be honest.
Well, this was before he was a crazy person, when he was arguably the best musician in the field.
Sure.
There was a period of time, post Michael Jackson, pre-now, where Kanye West was probably the most influential artist in American music.
Then why don't I know any of his songs?
Because you're you. Because you
what
are...
do you mean?
College Dropout was... Like, I don't think that, like... because he's gone off the deep end...
Wait, did he write Confessions?
Confessions?
These are my confessions. Is that Kanye West? Because I know that song.
I don't think he wrote Confessions.
I don't know. I don't even know what Kanye West has done.
Like, College Dropout, it
That's
cannot
also
be...
Great.
Oh, that song. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Okay.
Because Kanye West has gone off the deep end now, it is hard it's hard to look back on his early rise as what it was, but it was like a prolific moment in the music industry. Like, he was...
No, the only reason I know that
huge.
one is because of Weird Al.
Yeah.
That's why.
And I loved Kanye's early stuff. I really did. I wish that he hadn't, gone the way that he did. But
into a Nazi, yeah.
But I also wish, the same thing about Michael Jackson, right? But it's undeniable that like modern pop music exists because of Michael Jackson's influence.
And you think that like Kanye West has had the same kind of influence?
Not the same.
Oh, okay.
No one. I don't know that.
I don't know if I agree.
I don't know
with
that anyone will ever come close to the influence Michael Jackson had on pop music.
Sure.
But Kanye West is in whatever the next rung down is, in lasting influence on music.
Okay.
100%. Anyway, that is a long conversation about 2000s music that we don't need to get into right now, because Shallan and Pattern have to talk about what comedy is.
Yeah.
And Pattern tells a genuinely funny joke. It is actually a good, dirty joke, and I am shocked that Brandon Sanderson wrote a joke this good, but he crushed it.
Why? No, it's
because it's dirty.
Yeah, so.
Oh no! I'm not saying that Brandon Sanderson can't write quality jokes. I'm saying that like Brandon Sanderson wrote
about choking on cock.
But see, I don't think he knows that that's funny.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, I don't think that I think that was unintentional. This is intentional, and this joke is legitimately very good. It's a good joke.
It is a good joke. I agree.
And Shallan, like, is like, oh, what you've learned from those sailor boys. And Pattern's like, yes, I understand comedy now. And then he's accidentally sarcastic. And Pattern is my favorite character in this series. I love him so much, and I want him. I want a Pattern to just follow me around and try and tell me dirty jokes. I think it's great.
I wonder if someone has tried to make, like, Pattern art. Because he's described as being, like,
yes,
like genuinely too...
absolutely done that.
Yeah, but he's, like, too complicated to really, like... exist properly, but I just want like Pattern on my wall, like hanging out right beside the Vin poster.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, this chapter is mostly just about them trying to locate Urithiru.
And practicing her illusions, like being able to tie them to Pattern and giving Pattern Stormlight. She
can invest him with Stormlight, which I am genuinely surprised by.
I am as well.
I did not expect that. It's very cool though, and so now she can create little visions that walk and talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so she's basically the best spy ever.
Yeah, she's definitely got a leg up.
Oh my god, these book clubs are so long.
What do you mean?
We're at 2.5 hours, and we are, like, not even to the most important stuff to talk about today.
Well, hurry up!
Chapter 61, Obedience. Flashback.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean,
Shallan's story is not depressing, guys, according to Clarus Polaris.
Not
so,
now.
Shallan's father beats the shit out of everybody in the house. Murders, has his new guards, who are definitely the Ghostbloods. The Ghostbloods are here now. Balat wants to marry Elida, but her dad doesn't think... Elida?
Not Elida.
Elida. Her dad doesn't think that she's of high enough station, and so he sends his guards to go kill Balat's pets, which causes Balat to spiral back into being an animal harmer. But Clarus is adamant that Shallan's storyline is not depressing. He wants Balat to marry this, like, 50-year-old lady. And then that's just kind of it. And then Shallan overhears him discussing with Rin that Helleran is back and that he wants Rin, this guard, to go kill Helleran. And so Malise is like, what the fuck, dude? I've put up with a bunch of your bullshit, but you're really going to go have your son assassinated? And then Shallan's dad beats the shit out of Rin. So yeah, this book is heavy, man. It's really well written. I'm gonna keep saying it. It's really well written, but like, fuck, sometimes it's tough, you know? Like, I'm like actually sad reading it, and not in a like I've been moved to tears way, but just in a like this like general. The reading this book is kind of like, and it's so well written. It's masterful stuff. But I don't know, man. Like, sometimes it just makes me want to like go outside and touch grass. It's a bummer. And Mr. Kite, it doesn't feel like it's becoming less of a bummer. It just feels like we're like stuck in bummer all the time. And I don't like. It's a fantasy. This is us. That is so true. Oh my god, wait, Dream Shake, that is the best way to put it. It's the fantasy. This is us. And so basically he's like, if you kill my son, you can have his shard blade. And that's where we leave it. Clarus is not back yet to talk about the chapter 62, and I want to wait for it, so. I didn't feel it until this reread because of how fast I was going through it. That's interesting. I don't feel like the speed at which I read limits my emotional exposure to things, but I also wear my heart very much on my chest at all times, so that's not that surprising.
What isn't?
That, like, the speed at which I consume media doesn't change my emotional connection to it. Like, I watch Critical Role at, like, 1.75 speed, and it still makes me cry. The speed I watch it at doesn't affect my ability to be, like, emotionally invested in the goings-on.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Chapter 62, The One Who Killed Promises. Did you have anything to say about the Shallan flashback? Yep.
No, it's just really fucking fucked up.
Kaladin wakes up, and Dalinar's there. And Dalinar's like, hey, bud, we gotta have a talk. Ellikar's gonna probably let you out soon, so that's good. And then Kaladin's like, you know about, Elhokar is like a bad king, right? Or he's like, you know the king has a history of allowing people to rot in prison. And Dalinar is like, you're talking about the Rishon affair. Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat. I didn't fill it on my first read through because I was heavily medicated.
Well, there you go.
I need drugs.
Yeah.
Do you spice?
No, I can't have anything spicy.
Do you spice? So, guys, that's gonna happen in season 3. It's coming, like a month from now. We're gonna get the spice stuff. I'm so excited. So.
Are we talking about Dune?
Nope. Kaladin brings up Rishon, and we find out that Rishon was sent to Hearthome because he influenced Elhokar into killing Moash's parents.
Grandparents, yeah.
Sorry, the people who raised him.
Yeah.
And this was the first time where I started to feel like the way in which the flashbacks are tied to the characters in the present are starting to make the world feel a little bit small within how vast the world building is. Because it's like, well, this Rishon showing up in Hearthome is directly related to Moash and Kaladin in a way where like these things are tied together, and like Hoyd is from Shallan's backstory, and
that's because Hoyd
Light
is
Eyes,
a fucking magical traveling being.
The Light Eyes Shardbearer that Kaladin killed on the battlefield is Shallan's brother. There's a little bit of all of every single element of the flashback stuff has to be tied back to multiple characters in a way that I think does make the world feel a little bit small as it keeps happening. In that there's no like event in Alethi society in the last 6 years that can't just have existed outside of its connection to multiple people who did not know each other until they showed up to the Shattered Plains. And it's not like a death knell for the series, but it is a small criticism that I felt where like it being Moash and Ta'Veren for sure. Yeah, it has a little bit of that feeling of the Ta'Veren-ness that started to bug me a little bit about Wheel of Time.
No, I don't know. The Ta'Veren-ness didn't bug me for that reason. The Ta'Veren-ness bugged me because it gave everyone around them no agency or choices in the matter.
Yeah.
Whereas this is not like that in that regard at all. This is just that, like, events have connected the 10 most important people in the world and in this story.
Yeah, I think that it's actually okay to have events that just happen that don't need to be... Emberise, the connection to Moash is a bit more of a stretch. That's where this starts to feel a little small, right? Moash's origin story does not have to be tied to Kaladin's in order for me to care about it. And everything is so tied together in this book. Mm-hmm. And like Sigil is Hoyd's old student, and like I get it because it allows for you to have these reveals, but it also does have the effect of making it feel like everything has to be connected, which is a complaint that I have about Star Wars, right?
Yeah, it is. I don't know. I believe that everything happens for a reason, and this kind of just feels more like an everything happens for a reason than everything is, like, completely connected.
But everything happens for a reason, if it happens too many times, starts to feel too convenient. Like, there's a limit on how much you can do that before your audience starts to feel like the story is just a little bit too written and not, like, an immersive world that you're diving into.
I mean, it is written.
I know. That is not what I meant by that, right? Like, yes. But no, this Rishon moment being tied to both Moash and Kaladin, and like, it just felt a little bit too close to me.
All right.
And having already done the Kaladin is related to someone else's tragic backstory through Helleran and Shallan 15 chapters earlier, I just don't need Kaladin to be related in some way through this tiny village in the middle of nowhere to everybody's tragic backstory. It just starts to feel too connected.
I agree with Emberise that it feels kind of karmic in that, the consequences and for Elhokar are now that, like, Kaladin's story is the way that it is, and now Kaladin is the one responsible for Elhokar's safety, and now Kaladin is going to let Elhokar die.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah. No, I agree with that. And like I don't think it's bad. I just think that it's something that I'm hoping the series doesn't lean on too hard as it moves forward.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of at my limit on it. I'm not past my limit. I'm still enjoying it. I'm just saying, like, if this keeps happening, I don't know that I will keep enjoying it. But this was I'm only bringing it up because I felt it in this chapter.
Yeah.
Where I was going, oh, I'm feeling taken out of the story by this for the first time.
Okay. For me, it doesn't take me out of the story. So, like, I don't have the same, like, if it keeps happening, it won't really affect my enjoyment of the series. Because I don't really find that a knock in the way that you do.
Work Galore brings up the convenience of the connections is a problem this series shares with Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. I agree, but it's something that I called out when we were watching Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood in that it wasn't working for me. And here's the thing: it is a completely subjective thing, which is why I'm trying not to say that it's bad.
Yeah,
I don't think it's bad.
Yeah.
It is just noticeably taking me out a little bit here.
Yeah.
Because Alethkar is supposed to be this massive society with 10 different princedoms. And I just feel like there's like 7 people who matter in it. And I want the epicness of, there's so many distracted storylines, right? It feels like there's all of these things happening in other countries. But in Alethkar, there's very little that happens outside of these like 5 characters' lives.
I mean, yeah, because Alethkar thinks that it's the fucking center of attention.
But it is huge, right?
Is it that huge?
Alethkar is massive.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was like, I don't know, the size of like France.
France is massive. France is a huge country.
Is it? I think Russia is a huge country.
Going to only the largest country on Earth is the large country is crazy. France has so many people in it.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah, France is big.
I don't know.
Isn't France like, how many people live in France?
I don't know.
France population 67. France is like almost 2 Canadas.
Yeah, but the problem is, here's the thing, like, France is not like 90% like farmland, which I feel like Alethkar is like a lot of farmland.
But Russia is.
Okay.
Russia's mostly farmland.
Yeah, I don't think there's 67 million like Alethi.
No, that's why I'm saying the France comparison is odd to me, but
okay,
because France is huge.
I don't know.
France is also one of the most important countries historically. Yeah, I don't really know what your point is.
Just like size-wise, I didn't imagine it to be like humongous.
We've referenced French literature multiple times in this podcast.
So?
I'm just saying in terms of like the point that I'm trying to make is that the scope of Alethi's importance within this story seems limited to a small number of people.
Okay, maybe this is like a better example. If like Roshar is like the size of Canada, right?
Yeah.
Then like I imagine that Alethkar would be like British Columbia. Because there's so many, there's like Horneater country, there's Yakaved, there's Shinovar. There's like so many of these like provinces, we can call them. Like I just imagine that like Alethkar is just a part of it.
Sure, but in this book, there is a guy from Langley who just happens to be related to every tragedy that's happened to all of the most important people in Vancouver. Do you know what I mean?
Related to a tragedy that happened to like 3 different people?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's not like...
It's just... okay. We need to move on because I want to get to Dalinar in this.
Yeah, that's fine.
Dalinar was away.
Just wasn't thinking that it was like as large as it is, but I don't have scale. So if someone like has that for like the map or whatever it is, like I would totally be down to see that.
Dalinar was away when the Rashon incident happened because he was getting his wife's memory wiped off of his brain. I mean, that's what happened, right? When he comes back... I don't think
that was the goal, but yes.
When he comes back, the way in which they dealt with Rashon was to send him... Dalinar wanted him to lose his titles and land and everything. Mm-hmm. And then Dalinar says something that made me extremely disappointed in Dalinar. And really, like, I lost a lot of respect for Dalinar in this moment. Because Dalinar portrays himself as being a thoughtful and caring leader who is able to raise up a Dark Eyes, right? To a high position of captain. And he says that Rashon was sent away to a village where he could do no more harm. And I think that this is a break in his relationship with Kaladin that will be very hard for him to repair. Because the harm that Rashon was able to do in the first place was harm towards dark-eyed people because he has a prejudice towards them that led to them dying because of his influence over Elhokar. And in saying that he could do no more harm by sending him to have power over dark-eyed people like the ones that he caused harm over in this instance, Dalinar is saying that the harm that matters in this situation is the embarrassment that happened to Elhokar and not the harm that occurred to the dark-eyed people involved.
Oh, okay.
And it is an inability to understand his own prejudices and what might matter in this conversation to the dark-eyed person that he's talking to that made me really, I genuinely was like really disappointed in Dalinar here. And in terms of the way he handled the conversation, but also the way that he thinks about what happened with Rashon. And this moment was a little bit surprising to me, honestly. I thought Dalinar would speak in a different way about matters like this. And that line of like, we sent him where he could do no more harm, especially to the man who he went off and did more harm than Dalinar could possibly understand, because Dalinar has never lost like Kaladin has. It bummed me out, man. It really, really bummed me out. And it bums Kaladin out, right? I really think that this is the moment. This is the language that Dalinar uses that pushes Kaladin to be comfortable with the idea of Elhokar's execution. Mm-hmm. It is because Dalinar approaches this conversation in this way that Kaladin is going to go down the path that he did. And just, you know, I love the character of Dalinar. I think he's fascinating. And this is not a complaint about the writing. I think it's very well written. Mm-hmm. I don't want anyone to think that I'm criticizing Brandon Sanderson for this. I think it's why the story is... I think it's why the story is going the way that it's going. This was intentional. But the level to which Dalinar disrespects Kaladin's underprivileged class within the society in this conversation is a really massive misstep on his part.
Well, I really think that this is the central evidence that we have on how Dalinar changed so much as a person after Gavilar died. Right? Like, before Gavilar died, he said he was a tyrant and he didn't really care about the lives of lesser people. Yeah. Right? And that's kind of what happens here, is that he's like, oh, yeah, no, we sent him away where he can't do harm because it's not, harm to the people immediately around him. And then Gavilar dies. And, Dalinar's entire world perspective is shifted in a way that...
No, this happened after Gavilar died.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it did.
No, they have correspondence. They literally say that Gavilar encouraged mercy.
No, this was Elhokar.
Yeah. Elhokar made the decision, and they wrote...
Oh, Elhokar did it, but Elhokar was... Because Gavilar was at the plains. Right. No, you're right.
Yeah, they write to Gavilar, and Gavilar encourages mercy.
Yeah, no, right. So, but Elhokar was in charge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, right. So it is this pre-Gavilar's death Dalinar that isn't that great, right? That is more evidence that of how much Dalinar has changed because of this tragedy that happened to him, right? And hindsight is always 20/20. I wonder if Dalinar looks back on his actions and feels differently about them, but he doesn't try to make excuses for them. He's like, this is what happened, this is what I thought, whatever. But I would be so curious to ask Dalinar now, what he thinks of what happened, and see if his perspective has changed on it, because it feels like it has, based on how he's treated Kaladin, based on how he feels about the Bridgemen.
But the statement that he makes about Rashon being sent where he could do no more harm is present. He still has not really changed. His ability to view dark-eyed people as valuable as light-eyed people has not changed. He is still deeply racist.
I don't know about that. I think that you can make a remark about something based on like how you were feeling at the time. Like, yeah, at the time we sent him to where he could do no more harm, is not saying that that's how you still view it. It's just kind of like relaying the information of what happened in that moment. So I don't know if that comment is how he feels in the present or if it is a remark on how they acted in the past.
Sure, but regardless, it made me disappointed in him as a person.
Sure, yeah.
I also think that I'm very surprised Dalinar does not know more about Kaladin.
What do you mean know more about him?
If I were to raise somebody up into a role so close to my family, I would find out more about the person. And Dalinar knows nothing about Kaladin's past. And I think that a lot of this would have been
I would call that Dalinar respecting his privacy. If Kaladin
that is a really tough line, and I hear what you're saying. I'm not totally disagreeing with you. I don't think that when you become the captain of the guard of me, that your privacy is something that I care about as much as, do you have a history that I need to be worried about?
Well, and nowadays you sign consent for like a background check for certain jobs, right? But in this, like they didn't have that kind of thing, and
I know, but here's the tough thing, and maybe this is just because I am reading too much into it. But if the captain of my guard came to me and said I was a warrior in Amaram's army,
yeah,
right, and he did this stuff, I would go investigate that.
He did, and he said
he asked Amaram's people.
Well, no, he said that there are 17 different witnesses on when Amaram got his
No, 100%. I get that.
Yeah.
But what he didn't look into was whether Kaladin was being truthful about any of it. And the first thing that I would have looked into in that investigation would have been like, was Kaladin ever in Amaram's army? And I would probably know, as the man who sent Rashon to where he was sent to, that Rashon's under Amaram's land. And that Rashon is a feeder to Amaram's army. And that maybe I should be a little bit careful about how I talk about Rashon around a man who's from there.
Okay, but there are so many
Dalinar had done
lords.
Again, but this isn't me saying that the writing's bad. This is me saying that Dalinar is failing as a leader because he does not act with information. I complained about this in book 1, where he discovers that the Parshendi are women on the battlefield. Dalinar consistently acts without all of the information necessary, which is why he raised Amaram up. It is maybe Dalinar's biggest flaw, is that he's willing to act on partial information, and he does not have the intelligence. And I don't mean like his smarts. I mean intelligence in terms of like literal like military intelligence in the conversations that he's going into. It's why he's bad at politics.
I just don't know why you would expect Dalinar to be able to find out that Kaladin knew Rashon when Amaram clearly like falsified the records for how he got his shards and like obviously probably wiped Kaladin from them as well, so that there was no evidence of anyone who could like speak against him. Like I cannot imagine a world where Dalinar would know that Kaladin would be under the rule of Rashon. Like that is just a bit of a leap for me.
Science phase is like Rashon and Amaram are also actually blood related. I am saying that the number one way to approach these situations is to have more information. And Dalinar does not do that. Dalinar's flaw is that he acts not really knowing the motives of the people around him.
Oh, he literally says he didn't hire Kaladin based on information. He hired him on gut instinct.
Oh, I get that. I get that. I'm just saying that it is his flaw, and it is causing Dalinar so many problems. Dalinar's shit keeps getting fucked because Dalinar doesn't actually know what the fuck is going on. He's not doing a great job.
Yeah.
Right? And obviously we have extra outside of book knowledge to inform that, but Dalinar is doing a bad job of this. On almost every level. He's not crushing it. And so Kaladin Slavebrand says he comes from Sadeas lands. Sure, yeah.
Right. Ernest, thank you for that super chat. Kaladin is told known as history, not even Bridge 4, so there's not much to learn. Yeah, no, I think that that's why I think it's a bit of a
I'm not saying I'm not saying that Dalinar should have this information. I'm saying that it is a consistent problem that Dalinar is not inquisitive about things. And so he acts on less information than he needs because he is actively not like pursuing information before action. He goes off vibes, and the vibes are being manipulated, and so Dalinar's getting fucking manipulated. I don't think I'm wrong in saying that.
I just think that like Dalinar might currently be in the middle of investigating this whole situation because he's clearly already put in effort to find out about this shard blade and about Kaladin's claims and whatever. And so like he might be having someone look into it, but the fucker can't read himself. He has to go send someone else to dig this shit up, which I just think is like a societal flaw more than it is Dalinar's flaw. Because I don't actually know like
it's
what he has going on in the background.
It's Dalinar's flaw.
To not be able to read?
No. To act without information. It is his character flaw. And to say that it's a societal flaw is... I'm sorry, but that's just boring. Like, there are characters in his society that are very planny. Sadeas is very planny. I think that Adolin actually does a really good job of being inquisitive about information, and it's serving Adolin really well, right? I think that Adolin is very open to Shallan because of the way she uses her brain, and he knows she's smarter than him, and he's open to it.
Yeah.
I think that this is a Dalinar's flaw, and I think that a lot of people are going to die because of it. Before this is over. Because Dalinar acts before he finds out the truth. And I do think that it's gotten people killed before now, and it's going to get people killed in the future.
Yeah.
Sadeas got Dalinar on the tower. And Kaladin's the only reason he's alive. And Amaram is going to do the exact same fucking thing to Dalinar. Because Dalinar does not act out of knowledge. He acts out of instinct. Mm-hmm. That's just what that is who he is as a man. And that's fine. He's very good at it.
Yeah.
He's gotten this far, but it's going to be a disaster at some point for Dalinar because of it. And this conversation is a disaster. The guy captaining the guard of the king is now on board with killing the king because Dalinar fucked up this conversation. That pushed him over the edge.
I don't know. I think Kaladin's got his own issues to work out.
But like finding out about the Rashon thing in this way is what pushed Kaladin over the edge. And Dalinar fucked up here. Even if Kaladin didn't have a connection to it, bringing it up and being honest with Kaladin about it after the man imprisoned Kaladin is not a politically savvy move. And he put his nephew in danger with the way he handled this conversation.
Sure, but also you could argue that you should give Dalinar credit here for being very honest with Kaladin when he doesn't really have to. Like, they worked so hard to cover up this whole thing, and Dalinar could have been like, "Oh yeah, no, this is what happened." But he's not. He is very honest and straightforward with Kaladin, which I think to me gives him some credit.
Sure. Credit's going to be real nice when his nephew's dead. You were honest in a conversation, and now your nephew's dead. Congrats,
Do you want Dalinar to lie to Kaladin, then?
I want Dalinar to fucking use his brain, and he's not. He just isn't. He's not using his brain. He's using his heart, and it's a great heart, and I like that.
So what would you have him do in this scene, then, instead?
Nothing changed. It's not about this scene. I know that you want to limit everything to the thing we're currently talking about, but I'm talking about the larger tapestry of Dalinar as a character.
You're just saying that Kaladin made this decision because of how this conversation was handled. So I'm wondering then what Dalinar could have done differently in this conversation.
Well, he would have to be a different character, and so the story wouldn't happen. Right? The story is going to happen because Dalinar is...
No, I'm asking, do you think he should have lied?
No, I think he shouldn't have brought it up.
Wait, no, fucking Kaladin asks. Kaladin brings it up.
Yeah, and guess what? Your superior officer does not owe you a story every time that you talk.
Okay, but you want Dalinar to respect Kaladin, so...
Telling a story is not disrespectful. There are many ways to be Dalinar does not have to volunteer information here that he does.
Sure. and then I would have thought him kind of a dick after Kaladin saved his fucking son's lives.
Sure. I'm not saying that it's the better thing to do, but I'm saying it would be the smarter one. It just would be. And Dalinar...
I don't know how Dalinar could be like, oh, now Elhokar's gonna die because I told Kaladin this. I don't know. I don't know.
The problem isn't about whether or not here's the thing. It's not about Kaladin killing Elhokar. I don't think that's should be Dalinar's concern. The problem is that Dalinar has entrusted the safety of his entire family to this man.
Uh-huh.
There are 1,000 people in his camp who are more loyal to Kaladin than they are to Dalinar. And Kaladin has no reason to come back out of prison and go back to being a good guard for Elhokar now. The trust between them is broken. And Dalinar needs Kaladin. And he knows that because Kaladin is the only reason Szeth didn't succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Dalinar needs to be doing more for Kaladin. And he isn't. Kaladin has no reason to come out of this and go back to being the best guard for them. Kaladin has no reason to believe that there is value in Elhokar and his family right now. And Dalinar comes in, and the one story that Dalinar tells Kaladin about Elhokar while he's in prison is that Elhokar killed dark-eyed people, and the guy who was actually responsible, Rashon, got away with it. And that they didn't really do anything about it because society's fucking racist. That is the story that Dalinar, even without Kaladin's connection to it all, that's the story that Dalinar told. In response to Kaladin being like, why should I trust you? And Kaladin's like, well, because in that other incident, the Light-Eye guy that was responsible for it didn't actually have any consequences. It's not a politically savvy move. It just isn't. It's poorly handled. We need to move on. It's just poorly handled.
Sure. I don't know.
It just is. Like, it's poorly handled because we know that it is. Kaladin leaves the conversation with the exact feeling that...
I just think that you believe that Dalinar, should have far more information than he could possibly know.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm commenting on the character that we have. I'm saying that Dalinar is not an intelligent character. He just isn't. And your argument is that he's doing the only good thing that you keep arguing with me as if the character did the best thing he could have done. And that just isn't true because the story falls apart. Not falls apart, but things go badly because of it. And I don't understand your argument, I think is the problem.
Value honesty.
I don't understand your argument. I'm saying that Dalinar is not a smart character, and I guess your pushback is
I just don't know how he should have behaved differently.
It doesn't matter. Let's move on. We talked that one to death. Chapter 63, Burning World. Fuck, this is gonna be a long book club, y'all. I am sorry.
I don't think they mind.
Okay, so Shallan and Pattern are in a fake shed on top of a building.
Yeah. That she, created without anyone being well, how does that building now have an extra room on it?
I don't know, man. She's like, people just assume that it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You talk about this one. I need to pee.
Sure. So...
I can get through a 3-hour book club, but these 3-hour and a half, 4-hour book clubs is a lot.
I'm shocked. Yeah. So the Ghostbloods told Shallan to go get instructions from this tree. And Shallan is like, okay, well, I'm going to go there early so that I can see them dropping off the instructions so that I get more information about them. Which seems like a good plan. But the Ghostbloods are 2 steps ahead because they had already placed the information before they even told Shallan about it. And then they set... Ayatil? I actually can't remember how to pronounce it. Ayatil? Yes, maybe. And then she was gonna watch Shallan pick up the instructions because they're all just trying to suss one another out. All right. Very fun. And so Shallan realizes that they're not going to come drop it off. So she goes and she has Pattern dress up as Veil to go walk over and pick up the instructions. And then she goes downstairs. Oh, no, sorry. She gets Pattern to see if the spot's being watched, and it is. So Pattern goes and pretends to be Shallan, pretending to be Veil. God, this is so confusing. To pick up these instructions so that Shallan can surprise Ayatil, who is supposed to be watching for her, and she's like, oh, well, she was supposed to follow me. This is all, like, so fucking convoluted that saying it out loud sounds bonkers. Anyways, Shallan and Ayatil become besties, and they decide that they're going to go do whatever they're supposed to be doing together, which is to get information about a prisoner that is in the... Whose camp is this in? The Herald. The Herald guy? Oh, Dalinar's camp. Right. In Dalinar's camp, there is a prisoner who is one of the Heralds who is, like, raving mad. Everyone thinks maybe, but the Ghostbloods are like, nah, there's got to be something more to this shit. So, god damn it. So there's a day where you can go get help from the Ardents without giving anything up or whatever. So they decide to go in together, and they sneak in, and Shallan does the exact same thing to Ayatil as Tin does to her.
Yeah.
Where they get into a situation where Shallan is like, my sister's so sick, she put on this mask and she won't take it off. And Ayatil's like, oh my god. And she goes along with it, which, thank God, otherwise this would have gone real poorly.
Yeah.
So the Ardents are very concerned about her mental well-being. This was a big yes and moment, thankfully. And this is absolute chaos. So while the Ardents are distracted with Ayatil doing whatever the fuck she's doing, Shallan sneaks off. She finds Tiamat. I forget. Talinel. But it's not just that name. He also has another name, right? And so that's where it gets
Talinel.
Yeah. Which is symmetrical.
No, it's not.
But it's fake symmetrical.
Yes.
They, like, make up that it is symmetrical.
Much like my face, it is fake symmetrical.
How is your face fake symmetrical?
Because the beard hides all the asymmetry in my chin.
Your face is actually pretty symmetrical.
No, it's not. It's not even close. My eyes are not at the same height on my face.
Really?
Yeah. They're literally like they're.
If you say so.
Not at the same height on my face.
I have never noticed.
Oh no, I know. But no, my face is not symmetrical at all.
Mine either. Yeah, is what it is.
Yours is more than mine though. Your eyes are more closer. My eyelids are different shapes. My top eyelids on my two eyes are different shapes.
So are mine though. Like this eye is more open than this eye is. And my ears, one of them is higher than the other one is.
I think my ears are at the same height, but I
think they are too.
So anyway, Tal is like, I am Tal and I am the Herald. And my blades are somewhere in a treasure chest in a cave. And she's like, cool, I found a Herald.
Mm-hmm.
And then Amram shows up. And Amram's like...
Well, she does her light weaving thing. Yeah. And he loses his mind.
Right. So Amram, she hears Amram coming. Or no, Pattern hears Amram coming?
I think she looks outside, right? Because she's about to leave.
Is that what it is?
Shit, people are coming down the hallway.
She sends Pattern to go see if the coast is clear. And Pattern's like, someone's coming. Isn't that what happens?
I can't remember exactly, but one of them definitely sees people.
Did you talk about how Maraise is the student, not the master?
I did not touch on that yet. Yeah.
Maraise is the Padawan.
Mm-hmm.
Learner.
Yeah, which is interesting.
And Ayatil is Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
At first I thought that Ayatil was a Parshendi.
Probably is.
Well, no, because I guess they would have talked about, like, the marbling skin color.
But she's wearing, she's covered.
Like, fully?
I think so.
Oh.
Isn't she in, like, a burqa with a mask?
I remember
I thought she kind of looked like I think she looks like a member of the Pike Syndicate right now.
Okay, maybe that. Because the mask, as soon as I heard that, it was Parshendi, but I didn't think she was fully covered.
People are like, no, you guys are fucking stupid.
No, okay. That was my immediate.
Oh, you can see her mouth. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, she is the master. And so, the light weaving triggers Telanel.
Whatever.
That one. And he says some things that
you are
will be
of
important
the
later.
Guy.
Yeah.
You're his
that
people.
Guy.
They're back. Cool. That's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I have that in my notes here?
No, like I said, gonna be very important later. Okay. But fucking Shallan makes herself basically invisible.
Oh, he says that she's one of Ishar's knights.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably a herald somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Millennial Falcon. So Shallan makes herself invisible. When they come into the room, she hides in the corner.
Darkness.
Darkness.
I believe in a thing called love.
I went to Hades, the game, where he's like darkness.
Oh yeah.
The
I went to The Darkness, and their hit single, I believe in a thing called love. Just listen to the rhythm of my heart.
Banger.
It's a good one.
And so Amaram is trying to find a treasure trove of herald blades that is somewhere nearby, maybe.
Yeah.
Because he told this to a different person, but won't tell it to Amaram.
Yeah. He only said it the one time. Which probably means that the person he said it to...
Dead?
No, Radiant.
Oh, he only, talks to people who are Radiants?
It seems like that's what breaks him out of whatever his stupor is. So, yeah. Right? Even if they don't know they're a Radiant, they might be a Radiant.
Yeah,
right?
maybe. That is possible.
Right now, it seems like there's only one of each kind, which obviously will change.
Yeah.
But, we've only seen one Honor Spren, one Lie Spren, whatever the fuck Wordle is. One of him.
The Poison Ivy Spren.
The lesbian Spren.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he is a lesbian Spren.
Lift is in the closet. She just doesn't know it yet.
God damn it.
Yeah. That's why she's getting slick.
Jesus Christ. Can't.
I didn't fucking write the book.
No, I know. Anyways, that all happens in a later chapter, actually. We just kind of smush them together. Which is fine. Chapter 64 is Treasures.
Oh, she goes back out to Yaddle, and she's like, Yaddle, can you escape? And Yaddle's like, yeah, of course I can. Yaddle! Oh my god. It's Yaddle.
Ayatil?
No, Yaddle.
What is Yaddle?
She's got it's fucking the little Lady Yoda.
Yeah.
That's how she's gonna escape. She's gonna use the Force.
I mean, she's gonna use something.
That's why she's got the mask on, because it's Yaddle. Oh my god, you guys, we got fucking whatever race that is.
We still don't have a name for that, do we?
No, and we never will.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
If Star Wars ever names Yoda's race, it will be a very disappointing day to me. I think it's one of those mysteries that just has to be kept a mystery.
Yeah, we can't talk about it.
We don't talk about Yaddle. No.
Darth
Jar Jar confirmed. That's who Crescent Moonface is Darth Jar Jar.
That actually makes
Imagine
sense.
that reveal, that this all takes place in the Star Wars universe.
Nope.
That would be crazy.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, can you imagine how upset Star Wars Theory would be that he'd have to start reading books again?
Chapter 64, Treasures. Kaladin, sitting, having his meal. Syl's not really around that often. He, gets some Stormlight to make him feel better, and they switch out the Dunspear. Shallan, this is the part where Amram is talking to Buddy Boy over here.
Yeah.
And there's a location that they're trying to find, which I'm sure that Shallan is maybe going to infer from the maps that she, memorized that Amram was drawing. Maybe. Anyways, yeah, she leaves because Ayatil can get herself out. She's like, oh, so sorry, I got lost in here, guys. Super crazy. And then she leaves. She's like, I'm going to send the full report to you guys.
Which she won't. She's going to leave out some key details.
Well, yeah, I guess it actually doesn't say.
Well, no,
if she leaves anything out.
She's been doing a good job of not giving them everything, right? She didn't give them all the writing on the maps in Amaram's room.
But it says that she gives them a full report, so I actually don't know if she left anything out.
She says that she's going to send a full report.
Oh, later on.
Over span read. We don't know exactly what she tells them.
Oh, I thought in the next chapter, it was like she sent them the full report or whatever.
No, this is the last chapter we have with Shallan until...
Gotcha. Okay.
Because the next chapter is a flashback, and then the one after that's Kaladin.
Right. Okay, yeah. Anyways, they tell Shallan she's got to get a tattoo because she's now a Ghostblood.
Good thing she can fake it.
Oh, the tattoo? Yeah. Can't imagine getting that tattoo and then, like, you know, marrying Adolin and him being like, the fuck is that?
You would think that they would want to do the tattoo themselves, though, right? Because you would think that this should... Because if you're a secret organization that has a secret tattoo, which is always fucking dumb. Secret organizations should not have tattoos.
Because then it's not a secret anymore.
Because every time you catch someone, they're going to have a tattoo. And you're like, oh yeah, we know who you work with. It's tattooed on your fucking body.
Yeah. Or like branding people, like...
Yeah, it's always dumb.
Bad idea. Just a bad idea.
It's always a bad idea. Mm-hmm. No, but like you would think that you wouldn't want them going to like tattoo shops in town, in the war camps, and being like, hey, can I get this tattoo?
Yeah, bad idea. You know what I mean? Bad idea.
You would want it to be like a secret tattoo artist who's a member of the organization that isn't going to be like, you know, it's really weird. I've done this very strange tattoo on multiple people who seem unrelated.
What does it mean?
I feel like I would run the best secret organization because everyone else makes it obvious that they're in a secret organization. And it's like, no, you don't make it obvious.
This is a secret organization. We just like cover it with book club.
Yeah.
That's the ruse. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just odd. It's the way that this plays out, them being like, just go get the tattoo. I'm like, well, now she can just like draw it on. You know what I mean?
Just gonna doodle this.
The Ghostbloods secretly own all the tattoo shops?
Maybe, yeah. It's like the mafia, right? Instead of like they own all the like garbage disposal or they own all the Italian restaurants, they own all
They don't own the restaurants.
No, I know.
No. They own the garbage guys.
I know.
They don't own them. The garbage guys are mobbed up. And you know what? They're fucking great at their jobs. I want to be really clear to all of my former coworkers. I am in no way disparaging the mob or the garbage business. I'm glad that you guys make so much money. I was happy to work with you. No complaints. And I do not have a negative word to be said. I want to make that very clear. I have not talked to the cops about it. Let's move on to chapter 65. Shallan goes and bandages up her stepmom.
Yeah, she's basically conniving a plan to get everyone out and away from her dad. Because that is kind of the best that she can do.
Yeah.
And then her stepmom says that Shallan is the one who deserves to be beat. And Shallan says, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you think Shallan actually killed her mom?
Yeah.
Yeah. But then why is her soul in a box?
Because Shallan is looking at her guilt.
Oh.
I'm assuming that's what it is, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's whenever we find out what happened, it is going to be fucking tragic.
Yeah.
Chapter 66.
Storm... Well, no, we should talk about Balat and Melissa are going to run away to Helleran and get away. And we know that does not happen.
Yeah.
We also know that Melissa isn't around anymore. And we know that Balat is. So this poor abused wife is about to die, and I'm not ready for it. But Clarus says the Shallan stuff is not depressing in this book. So
I said the flashbacks are depressing, okay?
I just fuck with you.
No, actually, this is my favorite story. Yes, the abusive...
Just abused women.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't discriminate. He beats up all the servants. You goofus.
Does he? We've only seen him hit women. The woman on the landing was a woman.
He beats his sons.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't physically hit them.
Oh, yeah. Shallan is the only person he doesn't hit.
Have we seen... I don't think in a scene we've seen him do that, though. I think the only scenes of violence we've seen have been against women.
True.
I think we're told that he does that.
Yes.
But I do think the only scenes of violence that are on page are against women.
The two people that we see are definitely his wife and then the head maid. But they do say that he definitely hits everyone except for Shallan.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Not fair. It's disgusting. But
oh yeah,
it's what's happening.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Sees Owen and he doesn't hit. Yeah, it's crazy.
Probably the worst person on Rashar, but he's dead now.
I'm really excited to get to read about his death. I hope it was violent, and I hope that he died slowly and painfully.
Yeah, and I hope that he has a moment of realization of what a shitty person that he was.
Yeah, Balat's leg is fucked up from probably when he tried to get away. Fuck, that's true. Chapter 66, Storm Blessings. Yeah. Kaladin is let go. And guess who else is let go?
Adolin.
Adolin.
Bros.
Adobe. Yeah. Stop charging so much for your service. No, Adolin locked himself up in a much nicer cell because he couldn't handle being free while Kaladin was locked up.
He had to bathe with cold water.
Yeah.
A tragedy.
Yeah. I feel very bad for him. He's also wearing perfume.
Yeah, he's not
in prison.
Animal,
no.
Obviously.
No.
Like
the thing that's interesting about this, and like I think that look, this scene made me like Adolin a lot. I want to be really clear. I think Adolin rocks here. There's a lot going on right now, and I feel like Adolin was very needed elsewhere. They're like preparing to go to war in like 10 days. Aelin's like, you guys handle everything else. I'm gonna go sit in this room.
Yeah, but it didn't feel right.
I'd also, in the previous scene, Shallan is talking to Adolin via span read.
Yeah.
And the reason is because he's in prison, which I think is very cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love
but
that.
only with male ardents, because he does not want Shallan to get jealous.
Yeah, and Shallan is like, I'm not really a jealous person, which seems...
But should I be? I like that she like...
jealous?
Shallan like being like, maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I should be jealous.
Yeah.
It's very funny to me. It's well written.
Been there. Yeah. Honestly, been there. Should I feel jealousy? Is that a thing that I should feel? I'm so much happier without it.
But yeah, so...
Honestly, so much happier.
It's interesting because I lost respect for Dalinar throughout a lot of this section, right? Mm-hmm. I think that this was probably, in terms of my respect level for Dalinar as a character, is at its lowest. In this section of reading. Mm-hmm. But my respect for Adolin, massively up, right? Mm-hmm. I think that the choice to lock himself up here because because Kaladin saved his life is great. And I think that it was very moving. I think that it says a lot about Adolin in ways that I think I really like, right? And so, no, I was a big fan of this moment.
There's definitely a chance that it sped up the sentence as well. Because Elhakar's like, fuck, you're being so annoying.
Well, and like Elhakar might need Adolin out. That's actually a good point.
Yeah. So.
And so Adolin gives Kaladin the orange shard plate and the blade that were belonging to Jackamoth.
Here's the problem. I
think Jackamoth was Jackamoth orange.
I can't remember which one, but here's the thing: orange is just not Kaladin's color. You know, the palette is
painted a different color. They're gonna paint it blue. When Kaladin eventually gets shard plate, they're gonna paint it blue because he's Dalinar's boy. I was
making a joke, but no, he can't have shard plate because Szeth said that it interferes with the abilities.
No, it interferes with Szeth's abilities because they're fake. But the Radiance of old all wore shard plate. But Szeth, we don't know how to make the like shiny attuned shard plate that they have in the past.
Right.
Kaladin, book 5 Kaladin is going to be in shard plate. I can almost guarantee it, right?
Cool.
But he'll be in the like, because remember in the past they can fly and do the lashings and stuff, but the plate is like.
So then do you think...
in Dalinar's visions.
Do you think that Szeth is Odium's champion? That Odium is already chosen?
No.
Okay. All right.
I think that Szeth is already too involved, and I think that it's going to be someone that we watch get into it somehow. It's either going to be Amaram or...
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Adolin offers Kaladin plate and blade.
Yeah.
And Kaladin's like, I can't do that. And Adolin's like, okay, all right.
He's like, Moash, all you, bud.
Yeah. Adolin's like, what the fuck, dude? Do you hate me? I just gave you the best gift I could ever give you.
And he's like, no. I'm actually so good. I don't even need it.
I don't need it.
You saw me fight Szeth. I'm Gucci, bud.
That's the thing. He makes a banger point.
Yeah.
Right? Like the point about him being like, I was able to stand up to Szeth already.
Yeah.
So if we have one more person who gets to use that plate and blade, that is one more person that is useful in this fight. And Adolin's like, oh.
Now the problem is.
Okay.
The problem is, Moash wants to kill Elhakar.
Definitely a problem.
Yeah.
And Kaladin basically gives him the means to do so.
Yup.
because Kaladin is making bad choices.
Yeah. Which is why I want to end this book club so I can start reading again, because I'm like upset with where the book leaves off, which is here.
All right, so bye.
They go feast. No. Rock has been making a stew for weeks since Kaladin was in prison. I think 3 weeks. So it's probably poison at this point. Unless they put the meat in later, but...
Well, no, you can, you can marinate meat, right? So...
Outside on a fire for weeks? I don't know that I would trust what's falling into that stew.
I'm sure he covers it. Oh, no, there's no birds. No one's shitting in there, so...
There's no birds.
There's no birds.
But there are some cremlings, but that's just flavor.
Exactly, according to Rock.
What are the chapters we're reacting to? Did anyone ever send us that?
I'm not sure. Yeah. What are we reacting to?
I actually don't know what are we like reacting to the next chapter, or can we start reading?
Or can we go immediately start reading?
Yeah. Rob or Arzu, if you could send us the chapters, that'd be great. Because I actually don't know what's next for us. Mm-hmm. Perpetual stew is totally a thing. All right, never mind. I take it back. I did not know perpetual stew was a thing. I figured at some point everything would just... We're doing chapter 68. Okay. Fuck.
Okay. That's fine. We can only read this out.
Chapter.
We can figure it out. It's fine.
I want to know what happens. I want to get past the depressing part, because this, honestly, like, this book is a downer.
This world sucks.
It sucks.
Like, there's so many cool things about it. Like, the Spren themselves are so fascinating. But yeah, this world, I would not like to live there. Because I have brown eyes. So.
Yeah, I just don't have, like, I don't really have parts of it that I want to save other than, like, individual people. Like, the societies that Sanderson built for this world don't really feel worth saving. And that's a downer. Right?
Normally, institutions aren't worth saving because they get corrupted over time.
But normally they can become better. But these ones just don't feel like they can even become better.
Well,
right?
I think all you gotta do is really get rid of the light eyes, dark eyes thing. And then, like, you're okay.
But we still have to go fight the Parshendi who are just possessed by an evil god.
Well, that's
like, it's not even like the battle that we're about to do is just, like, rough.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Horn Eaters are worth saving.
The Horn Eaters aren't in danger. They live on top of a fucking mountain. Who's gonna go fight them?
Well, the Everstorm's gonna literally be the nothing and eat everything, so...
Yeah, but the book has not established any way in which our characters are interacting with the Everstorm. That's not... That's a, like, down the road thing that's gonna be something, and eventually we'll know how they can fight against that. But, like, telling me, like, well, you have to care about this because eventually a storm is gonna come that kills people is just... I don't give a shit. I don't know what that means. I don't have context for how that is a good or a bad thing, or how our characters can interact with stopping it. The book has not yet established that there's actually something our characters can do about it. Mm-hmm. And so I'm not invested in stopping it because I don't know what the process of stopping that looks like.
Magic.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And so for me, it's more like what I care about right now is what our characters are actively doing, which is about to go fight the Parshendi in a battle of murdering innocent people because they're possessed by an evil god. And I'm just kind of... That's a downer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, Venli can die, but I feel bad for everyone else.
Yeah, it's just... It's a downer. Yeah. And the people involved and the actions that they're taking are all negative right now. Mm-hmm. Nobody's really doing anything positive. Yeah. Shallan...
So should we do
is
high-low?
Closest to doing a positive thing. Yeah, one sec. Shallan is closest, but she is helping potentially the worst people on the planet in doing so. Right?
Yeah, like how much, like what is the line between like how much she can help them without her, like her being a spy? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Because
she clearly is like not like wanting, like doesn't know what the Ghostbloods are about and she's just trying to get information on the people that killed Yasna.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So, sorry.
Ooh.
You okay?
Yeah.
That hurt?
Just like hit like literally like the bone.
Thanks for subscribing, Jon Snow. That's awesome.
I hope you know things.
He doesn't.
Oh. Should we do high-low?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, let's do it. My high for this book will come last. Because we compliment sandwich this bitch. That's right. This is how my family...
My wife.
Wow. Okay, when we were kids, my family blended. And I suddenly had two sisters who I did not like. And my family knew that we did not like each other. And so in order to bring us together, to coalesce into a family unit that has stood the test of time and is now close-ish. What? Oh, you looked up at that. We did high-low at the dinner table, where we commiserate over each other's lows and celebrate each other's highs, leading to a family bond that will be unbreakable through time immemorium. And we bring this to our show in the manner as such. Clarus will say her high, I will say my low, she will say her low, and I will say my high, because we will compliment sandwich this beach. Clarus, what is your high?
Well, I feel like we're going to have to, like, debate over who gets to have what high. Because obviously, like, honor is dead, but I'll see what I can do. Mm-hmm. It's pretty incredible, but, like, do you want that one?
No, you have your high. Great.
Yeah, that moment was unreal. Well done. 10 out of 10. 11 out of 10. I might get a tattoo. We'll see.
Yeah.
What is your low?
The establishing the rules of people joining the fight mid-fight didn't work for me.
Yeah.
And it felt cheap.
Yeah. On that same vein, my low is definitely, like, not knowing whether Kaladin has the information to understand the consequences of what he asked for or not. Like, that being unclear. Yeah. Is a little strange to me. I wish I had a better understanding of that moment.
Yes.
What's your high?
Weirdly, it's the Eshonai chapter, because it more than anything else in this book reshaped my worldview of Roshar. And I think that, like, the ripple effect of how I feel about this world because of that chapter was so massive, and it's rare that books have that impact on me, and I think it was brilliant. And it makes me sad, and it makes the book a hard read for me, but not because of quality, right? Mm-hmm. It's just not enjoyable, but it's brilliant, and I'm enjoying the brilliance, while, maybe not enjoying it moment to moment because I'm sad.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you like the video, like, subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Leave me comments down below, because the algorithm god is hungry, and we must feed her this episode. That algorithm goddess is...
Hytale. She's gotta fucking escape from fucking...
She's just a little Yoda puppeting a human body. It's wild.
It's tough out there.
If you want to follow us around the internet, you can. I'm at nerdynightly.
I'm at Clarus Polaris.
Give us a 5-star review somewhere on the internet, so that we can continue to do this show where we fight before your eyes.
Yeah. One of us gets a buckler and the other one gets a shard plate helmet on their fist.
I mean, I would win.
Who wins?
Me.
Depends. I think if I had the shard plate thing on my hand, I would win.
No.
If you just had a normal buckler.
No, if we're doing buckler versus fist, my reach advantage over you would be so disgusting.
It's not fair.
I know. It's not about which one of us has the better, like, item, right? It's just that my arms are, like, a foot longer than yours.
I wonder if you could get shard plate that literally had, like, arm and leg extensions in them.
No, because the problem is that your knees and your elbows and your knees would be at the wrong place in your arm, and so you would end up being, like, off center.
No, you literally have extra extension. You know how some animals have 2 joints in their legs?
Yes. Like,
so you would have your knee joint, and then you would have the bottom joint as the extension part. Yeah, no,
I understand the concept. I'm saying that, like, the way our bodies are balanced would be thrown off. Oh. And it's like people who try and wear the fucking, like, fawn feet at conventions.
Yeah,
they're like giving themselves, like, carpal tunnel. The bottom joint is the ball of the foot. Yeah, but with your hands you can't do the same thing. You could maybe do feet. You could maybe get stilts a little bit.
You don't think you could, like, hold an arm extension?
You could. It just that honestly, like, it would just make it harder, not easier.
Probably.
You know what I mean? I think that it's not a problem of if you could pull it off. It's more, what is the benefit of it?
Is it worth it?
Like, what would be the benefit of running on fawn feet in battle?
Yeah.
You know?
Reach. I don't know.
If you have shard plate, reach doesn't really matter, right? Shard plate's kind of overcome reach by being magic.
Oh.
That too.
Yeah.
All right. Prudes, get the fuck out. We're going to talk about sex. Baby, let's talk about you and me. I want someone to release the sexting session that the Ardent had with Shallan while Adolin was in prison. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel really bad for that Ardent who's just trying to communicate their
as she's just being like, oh my god, Adolin, I'm so slick right now.
Oh my god.
If we go to the Bronze Palace, I can choke on the cock sounds in your name.
Oh my god. Where it looks like boobies?
The Titty Palace!
Because here's the thing, Shallan, definitely bisexual. Okay?
Definitely bisexual.
Okay.
She gives off hardcore bisexual energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first thing she noticed about Yasna was her tits.
Honestly,
if that doesn't scream bi, I don't know what does.
I'm just impressed at this point that Brandon Sanderson hasn't introduced that the Ardents have had their testicles cut off. Because every other fantasy series does the castration thing.
Yeah, but you can stop being an Ardent if you want to.
Oh no, I know. I'm just saying that
put your cock back on.
Well, Lift can, because she can.
I wonder. Yeah. Interesting.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I need to eat 3 loaves of bread and then I can regrow your cock. Give me a few minutes.
Oh my god. I just need really quick carbohydrates so that I can do
Sorry,
this
your penis? You. Oh, actually, I need protein for that. Can someone bring me a hot dog?
No, this is not meant to be, what's the word? Doesn't matter.
Great joke, babe. 10 out of 10 joke. Well done. Oh,
there was a word there that worked, but I couldn't find it.
No idea.
Yeah.
Do you think Kaladin's ever masturbated?
I don't know what else you would do in Bridge 4 to pass the time.
In the room? They're all in one room.
Yeah, so? You think that stops little kids at camp?
No comment.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think I ever masturbated at camp.
No? Well, someone has.
Definitely.
Yeah. Probably a lot of people.
Don't people play, what's that game called where they come on the cracker and then the last person to come has to eat it?
I don't think that's a camp exclusive. But yeah, I did hear that was a game. I don't know anyone who's ever actually played that game. It felt like a game that people made up.
Gooey Cookie or Ooey... There's a name for it.
Cum Cracker.
No, that's one. Soggy Biscuits one. There's a Gooey... There's another one that's yeah, anyway.
Never heard of it.
Guillermo Barrow says, still 12 guys. We are not talking about Lift engaging in any sexual activity. Icky Cookie or something.
No.
Look, I want to be really clear. We're not talking about Lift engaging in any sexual activity.
No.
We're talking about her doing the healing art of regrowing a penis that has been cut off. It is a very different... It is not sexual at all. It is medical, like Grey's Anatomy.
Judah, thank you for that super chat.
Cal gives me Arrow Ace vibes sometimes. Ooh, really?
No, the number of times that he has described exactly where Syl's skirt falls on her.
Yeah.
That's just too attentive.
Ookie Cookie, that's what I was trying to think of.
I've never heard that name for it.
Yeah. Critical Role just posted the Do Spice reel on Instagram. No way!
You were a prophet. You predicted it.
I can't watch it. I'm going to wait till the episode drops because I want to see it yeah, no, we're talking about Lift as a medical practitioner regrowing penises by consuming hot dogs.
In Smut Corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyways.
We would never joke around about her engaging in sexual activities. Promise.
Well, when we found out how old she was anyways.
Also, no, here's the thing. The thing about Kaladin is that it doesn't feel like he's Arrow Ace to me because he's she's light eyes. I can't be attracted to her because she's light eyes. Which is too, the lady doth protesteth too much about his attraction to her. What he's saying is, I am attracted to her, and I'm trying not to be because she's light eyes.
Yeah, he definitely feels that feels.
Yeah.
Feels the feels, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, we're going to go read.
Maybe. I'm going to eat. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you, mods. We'll see you tonight with a reaction, maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Who knows, guys? Even we don't know.
Do something nerdy tonight.
Bye,
Goodbye.
Guys.